Superstitious fishermen who refuse to work with an Umibozu has been cited, and this was because
I'm trying to fix this business.
the Umibozu allegedly came on
Because everything's all
once a year to
fucked
breed,
up.
where their tiny offspring have been sighted running along the sand before heading back into the water to begin life. As time has passed, there have been plenty of recorded Umibozu sightings. They range from harmless encounters where huge individuals have been seen wading through the shallow coastal waters for days at a time, to an incident in 1971 when an enormous aquatic creature became caught in a Japanese trawler's net. The fishermen raised the net to reveal a giant creature, black in colour with one visible white eye staring at them. As the net's mechanism snapped under the weight of the creature, a colossal
That's fine. 25 can fucking go anyway, because that's fucking...
What is
yeah,
remarkable
that
about
can
the
go.
sighting of the Umibozu is they do all appear to follow a common theme, and there are few known creatures that may have been mistaken for an Umibozu, the main one being a killer whale. It can certainly match for its size, and its striking black and white skin kind of matches the description. Other smaller creatures that may be in the running are the now extinct Japanese sea lion, a mammal that was common around the coasts and shallow waters, with a smaller Umibozu beside it, or perhaps even the Japanese angel shark. However, those who have encountered the Umibozu would probably disagree, believing the creature is an as yet undiscovered sea monster. The Bradley sisters. On July 6, 2001, Tracy Bradley had to go to work at 6:30 a.m. Being a single parent, that meant leaving her two girls, 10-year-old Tionda and 3-year-old Diamond, alone. The girls' sisters, Victoria and Rita, were staying with their grandmother, and it was Victoria's birthday the next day, so the whole family were excited about the upcoming party. At 12:30 p.m., Tracy arrived back at the apartment in Bronzeville, Chicago, with Diamond's father, George, but the girls were not there, although Tionda had left her mother a note explaining that she had taken Diamond for a walk to a nearby store and the school. Oddly, Tracy and George planned to pick the girls up and take them on a camping trip. This seems strange when you consider that the next day was Victoria's birthday, and that they had never been camping before. Tracy and her family searched the local area for over 5 hours before they contacted the police, because Tracy was afraid that she would get into trouble for leaving the girls home alone. She asked George to help with the search, but he instead decided to leave. Tracy told police that she thought that the note had not been written by Tionda. She said that the grammar used in the note was too
Upper 2, 18, 22, 23. These are all the ones that fucking piece in, don't they?
Once informed, the police immediately began a search, and they also visited over 100 known sex offenders who lived nearby. More than 100 detectives were assigned to the investigation. Police expanded the search area, and more policemen joined the hunt. It became one of the biggest manhunts in Chicago's history. Because of the delay in
Right, yeah, because Upper 18 is meant to be a suit. Right.
And the girls seemed to have vanished into thin air. Due to the inconsistencies of the
So
statements,
Upper 18.
many times over the next 5 weeks. Over the years, police have interviewed more than 11,000 people, gathering huge amounts of information, but each lead has hit a dead end. The girl's great aunt, Sheila, has been a proponent in the search and has never given up hope, regularly releasing age progression photos to show how Tionda and Diamond may look now, as they would be in their 20s. It's now 18 years since the
It's
girl
Upper 18, but
no
most likely
suspect has been named
36.
by authorities, and it's still a mystery as to
5.
what happened to Tionda and Diamond Bradley.
4. So 4 to 6 should fit fucking, what was I say, 18.
The day that Australia lost its innocence, the 26th of January 1966. The day that Jane, aged 9, Addon, aged 7, and Grant Beaumont, aged just 4, went missing. The children lived with their parents, Nancy and Jim, in the Somerton Park suburbs of Adelaide. As it was the height of the summer, the three siblings took a short bus ride to the nearby Glenelg Beach in South Australia. The journey only took 5 minutes, and the children had used the beach where their parents many times before. James was sure for a...
I gotta move everything about again, mate. This is where it's just fucking, I can't really be arsed.
Today. It was only a short walk
17.
There was over
How old for
and far too hot for the children to go either by bike or by foot.
18, sorry.
So they left on the 8:45 a.m. bus and were expected back on the midday bus.
Yeah, 18 is just a repeated
When
fucking
they arrived back at noon, their
texture
mothers
anyway.
thought that they had missed the bus and would
So
arrive at
18.
which was due at 2 p.m. But that bus also came and went with no
Fuck
sign
that
of the
off.
children. Jim arrived home early just before 3 p.m. and immediately drove to the beach to search. At 5:30 p.m. they went to Glenelg Police Station and reported all 3 of the children missing. Because it was Australia Day, the beach was packed with holidaymakers and several witnesses saw the children in the company of a man. The children seemed very friendly with the man, so it was thought that they had probably met the man on previous visits to the beach, and that was why they were so trusting of him. The man never came forward to eliminate himself from the police investigation, and the children have never been seen since. There have been many theories put forward as to what could have happened to the children. Over the years, some of the most infamous and evil criminals from across Australia have been suspected of involvement in the case, including the notorious paedophile murderer Derek Percy. When questioned, he had admitted
No,
that
it's the
he
same
had
texture.
been
Okay.
his family on the day that the children were
No, it's a
missing,
3 to
but
6.
he denied any involvement in their
3 to
disappearance.
6 are all shirts.
Many new leads and theories have emerged over the years, from cold kidnappings to
Yeah, 3 to 6 are all fucking suitless shirts,
have
whatever.
always helped to investigate each
That
of
should
their
fit,
characters
excuse me,
in the hope that their children
upper
will
18.
The investigation is regarded as one of the largest in Australian history. As recently as February 2018, excavations were made at a factory site near Adelaide in the hope of finding some
Would it
trace
fit
of
that?
the 3 children. Unfortunately, nothing was found that could provide any further clues. 53 years have passed. Mr. and Mrs. Boland are now in their 90s and resigned to the fact
Would
that
fit
their
that.
family never
So
met.
18, 18 and 23.
To this day, the case is still ongoing, and there's still
What's age, David? 3 to fucking 6.
regarding the 3 Boland children's disappearance. The Skelton brothers. Andrew was
3 to
9, Alexander was
6.
7, and Tanner was 5 on Thanksgiving in 2010. They lived in Morenci, a small town near southwest Detroit, Michigan. Their mother Tanya and father John did not live together because they were divorced at the time. The brothers did, however, have regular planned visits with their father. Tanya planned to pick up the boys at 3 p.m, but decided to ring up in the morning to see if the boys wanted to come home early. But John told her that they weren't at home because they had gone to Jackson.
Not an upper 25, huh?
Tanya said that was fine, and she would pick up the boys at the usual time of 3 p.m. However, after walking past John's house, she noticed that his van was still on the driveway.
Alright, so 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 and 6. J-Bib. So J-Bib, 3 to fucking 6.
And that she would bring them back to Tanya's at 3 p.m.
I was gonna say,
He then changed his mind and admitted that he had tried to hang himself when he was in the hospital. When the boys did not return at 3 p.m, Tanya immediately rang the police. An Amber Alert was issued for all 3 boys, and the search began. John Skelton was arrested at the hospital, and his house was searched. The rooms were in disarray, furniture had been smashed, and mattresses had been slashed.
right, task. I'm gonna have to.
Skelton said that he had met Joanne Taylor on the internet, but it
Task
turned
1,
out that she didn't
2.
exist. He then said that he handed the boys over to a group
Yeah,
called
that's all
the
for fucking single player.
and the underground sanctuary to save
So
them from
what I
their
could do with that is just make that
The underground group turned out to not exist either. Skelton went to trial, charged with 3 counts of parental kidnapping and unlawful imprisonment. He was found guilty and sentenced to between 10 and 15 years in jail. John Skelton's story changes with every retelling, although he has consistently maintained that he had not harmed the boys, and they were alive and well, and living with a family that he knows. Police believe that Skelton murdered the children because of the custody battle with Tanya, but are unable to charge him without any proof. The National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children have released age progression photos of the 3 boys, who have now been missing for over 8 years. Michigan police are also offering a $60,000 reward for any information on the whereabouts of Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton.
So what I'm gonna have to do is fucking up at 18, 23 and 25.
On the 20th of March 1975,
Up at 18,
and 10-year-old
23
Walks the Wheaton Plaza Mall in
and
the
25.
in Washington, D.C.
No, 25 can go anyway, it doesn't matter.
Easter Bunny decorations, as well as having some
25 can fuck off. That's sound.
They set off sometime between 11 a.m. and noon, and at 2 p.m. they were seen by their older brother Jay eating pizza at the Orange Bowl in the mall.
23 is gonna have to be renamed.
They were seen
It's gonna have to go somewhere else.
Back to their home, but they never arrived.
Oh, there
At
you
7
go.
p.m. their parents
Right,
were
23 can be 27.
The police were certain that the girls hadn't run away. Many witnesses came forward,
I need that done.
and the local area and nearby woods were searched extensively, but there was no sign of Sheila or Catherine. One of the young witnesses who knew the Lyon sisters described a creepy man who was in his late teens or early 20s, who had stared at the girls for so
What am I
long
doing?
that she went to
It's 27. 27, I'm gonna change that
Police
out.
made a sketch that showed the man with
23.
acne and scars on his left cheek. Another witness came forward and described a much older man who had been using a tape recorder.
It's 23, 25, and 18 all need to be fucking open
He was
jackets.
said to be in his 50s, smartly dressed with grey hair. A sketch of this man was made public by the police.
So wait, hold on, yeah, the bomber shirt I could put. Oh no, hold on, because if I keep it as the coat, then that should all fit fucking that in it, and then if I set the other ones to fucking whatever.
But he had been there on the day the Lyon sisters disappeared, and he had seen tape recorder man get into a car with the girls. Welch was given a lie detector test, which he failed.
Yeah, look, 25, 23, 22, 18, so 22 should be fucking one of them as well, apparently. What's 22 sound?
Almost 40 years later, in 2014, after taking a fresh look at the case,
Okay, it must fit that one.
paperwork, police came across the file containing the statement from an 18-year-old Welch. On a hunch, detectives went to re-interview him, who was serving a 33-year sentence for sex crimes against a 10-year-old girl at that time. Welch then admitted that he had kidnapped the Lyon sisters almost 40 years earlier. Later, a man named Henry Parker came forward and said that his cousin, Lloyd Welch, had arrived at his home on Taylor Mountain Road, Virginia, in the spring of 1975. He had brought 2 large army-style duffel bags with him that were badly stained and smelled very bad. Parker said he helped Welch place the bags on a fire in the backyard, and he burned the bags for several days. At trial, Welch avoided the death penalty by pleading guilty to both murders. He was sentenced to 48 years in prison, and the remains of Sheila and Catherine Lyon have never been found. The O'Brien brothers. At the time of their disappearance in November 1996, Addon was 14, Trevor was 11, and Mitchell was 4. The brothers were visiting their father, Gary O'Brien, who lived in Torbay, Newfoundland, and Labrador, Canada. Their parents were divorced, and their mother, Diana, had custody of the brothers. At 8:30 p.m., Diana received a
It's making that 27, and what's 27? It's just a fucking workshop. That's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna have to delete that and that.
Diana asked to speak to the board.
Just delete that and it's just upper 27 needs to go.
The police were immediately informed. Gary had indeed rigged up his house with a crude bomb made from 2 400-pound propane tanks. If detonated, the bomb would have destroyed not only Gary's house, but also several houses in the area. Gary O'Brien has a history of mental health problems, as well as suicidal and violent tendencies, although he is described as a resourceful man.
Yeah, 18,
A year after they were
22,
Gary
23 and 24 need to be changed.
which is approximately 6 miles from his house. There were no bodies or any other clues on the site. Diana believes that Gary dumped the engine off the cliffs in order to throw police off the scent. Gary is wanted by Interpol, who list him as an internationally sought suspect.
So upper J-Bibs 3 to 6. They're gonna have to be a fucking cut off t-shirt or cut off fucking torso. And then they'll all fit into 18, 23, 25 and 22 on it. So if I fucking set them to fucking... If I get something to fit the coat, do it like that.
The Skeleton Lake. A shallow lake in the Himalayas, known as Rupkund, may not look
So
like
yeah, I need to read down to 27. 27 don't know, that's just fucking
in the
27 can
Uttarakhand
go.
state of India, is the last resting place for hundreds of people thought to have been killed in a sudden violent hailstorm in the 9th century. The skeletons only became visible at the bottom of the lake for just 1 month out of the year, when the air is warm enough to melt the ice covering them, and they were first spotted in 1942 by a game ranger, although rumours of their existence had been widespread for years. Investigations were carried out, and it was estimated that around 300 human remains lay at the bottom of the lake, along with their tools, shoes, jewellery, and other artefacts. Years later, a team from National Geographic magazine retrieved 30 of the skeletons, and were horrified to discover that flesh was still attached to some of the bones. It was also determined that the majority of the remains were of Iranian heritage, with just a few of them from the local population. It can only be speculated how so many people met such a sudden and violent death. However, the local legend says that the king of Ganache, Raja Jastahardo, and his pregnant wife Rani, along with their vast entourage, went on a pilgrimage to man the Devi shrine, and Rani could hear a storm near Woodcombe Lake, and giant hailstones rained down on them, killing the whole party. All we can think is there must have been some large hailstones to kill that many people that quickly, and it's like something far more sinister was responsible. What do you think? Mysterious underwater cave system in Mexico. For centuries, Soquayo, a flooded sinkhole located in Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula, terrified the locals so much that they would not go near it, as they believed it was guarded by a feathered, horse-headed serpent who would snatch anyone who got too close. So when underwater archaeologists sought permission to explore the flooded cavern, a local shaman performed a traditional ceremony to ask permission for the researchers to enter and appease the serpent. After entering the water-filled cavern, the archaeologists discovered that there may be a very good reason why the villagers feared the place. At first glance, it appeared something terrible had taken place there, as the cavern floor was scattered with skulls and human bones. However, there was far more to this water-filled cavern than initially thought, and further exploration has led to the discovery of an additional 4 kilometers of underwater passages, as well as an array of archaeological discoveries, and is now recognized as the largest and most important underwater archaeological site in the world. Some of the skulls discovered are elongated, which is consistent with an era when heads were thought to be intentionally flattened, typically during infancy, when the skull is most pliable. Most of the remains
24 is only meant to have
are
fucking one
relics of
texture.
Mayan culture, when it was customary for residents to be buried under or near their
So I
houses,
have to get rid of that.
suggesting the bones belonged to people who had been intentionally secluded from the community, possibly due to the plague or some other ailment. More recent exploration has revealed some of the bones date back even further, with one of the female skeletons believed to be around 12,600 years old, dating back to the last ice age. But also, remains of giant sloths and the extinct elephant-like mammal have been discovered, along with ceramics, altars, shrines, and wall etchings, some of which were likely used in funeral and human sacrifice ceremonies. Take a look at this extraordinary footage. It seems that this mysterious and ever-growing cave system holds a lot of secrets, and gives a grim insight into the lives of our ancient relatives, to anyone who is brave enough to explore its murky depths.
Yeah, that was 23 in it, so I can delete 23 out.
The ship graveyard. At first glance, Chuuk Lagoon, located in the central Pacific, looks like paradise, but beneath its crystal blue waters lies an altogether different story. The lagoon sits inside a cluster of small islands known as Chuuk State that make up one of 4 of the federated states of Micronesia. And during World War II, the area provided Japan with a perfect base to protect its large ships and military hardware. But in 1944, American forces launched an attack and caught the Japanese with their guard down. And although they responded quickly, it was too late, and over a 2-day bombardment, more than 60 warships and crew ended up on the floor of the lagoon. 2 subsequent attacks in the same year left Chuuk Lagoon a toxic
So
graveyard
I
of
could
sunk
just
ships,
fucking make the open
leaking
work shut
vast
up.
quantities of oil and gasoline into the water.
Make the open work shirt 18, 23, 25 and 22, right?
Were left abandoned in Salmons.
But that's for fucking...
Tens of thousands of them starved to death in the months that followed.
Same with the puffer coat. It'd be more ideal to use that, right?
And the slaughter that occurred there. Until 1969, Jacques Cousteau's diving team visited the lagoon to find and document the wrecks.
It's not even the right
They
fucking
found
man.
more than shipwrecks. The seafloor was littered with the skeletons of those that perished. The team also took lots of artifacts from the wrecks. However, the expedition did highlight what happened at Chuck, and a lot of the human remains were removed and given proper burials. Today, Chuck Lagoon is known for the best wreck diving in the world,
That's that one.
and those lucky enough to go down will see an array of equipment, including various vehicles, weapons, clothing, and other personal paraphernalia. They are also likely to come across human bones, and these serve as an eerie reminder
Fuck.
of the real sacrifice
I'm
of
driving
life.
a fucking Hoover up the road. So I've got 3 coats there, yeah. Up at 18, 23, 25 and then 22 as well potentially. So that'd be 4 coats that I'd need to fit the same fucking torso, just to make life easier. So if that is the case, you know what I mean, then I've had a load of coats on them, so I don't really want it. It's the only problem, I don't really want a load of fucking repeated fucking clothing. So I was trying to have a bit of fucking diversity in it, but that's the same as that, that's the same coat throughout. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, there's a difference with my badge on now. It's still the same layout though.
Yeah. The question is, how on earth did they end up 90 feet underwater? And why is there no historical record of them ever being built or being lost?
I'm just gonna have to do 1 coat for fucking now and see how I get on with it.
As they were being transported from Boston to the mid-Atlantic, possibly after they got caught up in a storm. But the truth is, no one really knows. To date, the
So I've not got an upper 23 now. Yeah, so upper 22, 18 and 25. No, 24 don't need to be changed, I can see.
Dating from the second quarter of the 1st century BC.
Oh no, it's had a long
It was
go on.
first discovered in 1901 by sponge divers off Point Pythian in Greece. And
Upper
is so
24,
found
what's that
a
meant to
number
be?
of precious artifacts from that era.
Suit
But
last.
without doubt, the most prized and mysterious of these is the antikythera mechanism, a sophisticated clockwork instrument that models the passage of time and the movements of celestial bodies, and has been described as the world's oldest computer,
It's about,
and is the most sophisticated
and that
physics
fits
ever
fucking
recovered from the ancient
a JB
world.
1 or 2 or
And to
something.
date, scientists still have no idea who made it or why.
Yeah, 23, 22
And in 2016, divers found buried in sediment
and 18 and 25.
ever recovered from an ancient shipwreck. Marine archaeologist Brendan P. Foley made the discovery, and he believed
21 and 24.
about the antikythera
Must fit something
and
else.
other mysteries about the ship and our ancient ancestors. The skeleton is well preserved, considering it's over 2,000 years old. An analysis of the remains, which include most of the skull, tooth femurs, and the long bones of the forearm, suggest that they belong to a man aged between 25 and 30 years old. He has been named Pamphilos after the inscription on a cup found in the same wreckage. Take a look at this video of the recovery. If only bones could talk, as one thing is for sure, Pamphilos holds the key to one of the world's greatest mysteries, and could answer so many unanswered questions about our ancient ancestors. The green-skinned children of Woolpit. Woolpit is a beautiful village nestled in the English countryside of Suffolk. Like many other settlements in Britain, Woolpit's history can be traced back for 2,000 years, and the origins of its name have been debated over the years. It was thought that but they were named 3 more.
Just keep them as J-Bibs, right? Fucking just keep them as a J-Bib. Make them fucking pass J-Bib 10 on it, and then fucking it ain't gonna be used in single player on it. I just need to fucking try fucking focus on getting these fucking this J-Bib 1 to 10 fitting with fucking uppers 18, 23 and 24s, because clearly they're specifically meant for each other.
Sometime during the 12th century, villagers were working
Fucking throwing away at this is,
in order to bring in the harvest. On taking a break, they were surprised to see 2 strange children walking towards them from the tree line. The young boy and girl looked frightened, and their skin had a
different
tinge. Their clothes were made from strange materials, and they spoke in a new kind of language.
the 28,
that the
okay.
villagers had never heard before. The children were taken to Wilkes Hall, which was the nearby farm, and Sir Richmond. After being given bread and other food to eat, the children became quite upset and refused to eat for several days, even though they were obviously hungry. Then, after seeing a servant carrying a tray of raw meats,
J-Bib 10 and 8.
and gobbled them endlessly.
10, 8 and 7.
At the time, the story was verified by 2 independent sources. A man named Ralph of Cogniton, who wrote about the children in his books, The Chronicle of England, and another man named William who also wrote about the incident, which had
So, how would I go about this then?
He was so convinced in the reliability of his sources that he wrote about the children in 1189 in his book, The History of English Affairs. The 2 children stayed in Wilkes Hall for several weeks and continued to survive by eating the raw meats until they were finally persuaded to eat other things. Eventually, the green tinge on their skin faded, and they began to look like normal human children. Sadly, the boy became sick and died, but the older and stronger girl thrived and was able to learn English. Cogswell wrote that the girl went on to describe the land that she and her brother had come from as a place of permanent twilight. She said everyone and everything in the land was green. She called it St. Martin's Land, and said there was a huge river and bright land could be seen on the other side. She said that she had been herding cattle with her brother when they heard bells and followed the cattle to a dark cave, only to emerge into bright sunlight, frightened and bewildered when the villagers of Warden had found them. Able to integrate into her new surroundings, the girl became a servant at the manor house and later married a local man. So could the children have crossed over from another dimension through some sort of mysterious door?
Before I do anything,
The Beatles never split up. In 2009, a man called himself James Richards set up a website page. On it he describes how he was transported into another parallel dimension, and there he was able to steal a cassette of a never before heard Beatles album, because in this other dimension, the Beatles had never split up. On his webpage, James recounts the story of his interdimensional friend. On the 9th of September 2009, he was travelling home to Livermore, California, from his friend's house in Turlock, when he realised that his dog was needing to take a toilet break. He was driving through a place called Del Porto Canyon. At the time, it was approximately 2 p.m. The dog ran off, chasing a rabbit, and James ran after it. The ground was heavy and full of rabbit holes. James soon tripped over and knocked himself unconscious. When he woke in a furnished room, his head was bandaged and he could hear trampling noises outside. This made him feel uneasy because he knew that the place where he had fallen was a rural area and away from civilization. There was also a strange electronic machine in the room that James didn't recognize. The door opened and his dog ran, followed by a man. He introduced himself as Jones and asked if James was okay. He said he had found him unconscious in a field with his dog. James replied that he was fine and asked where he was now. Jones replied that his house was about 20 feet from where he had found James in the field. James said that this was impossible because there was no houses for another 20 miles around the place that he had fallen. Jonah then told James that what he was about to tell him would be incredible and that he probably wouldn't believe him. Jonah said the machine was a transporter that had brought James into a parallel universe. He said he often travelled to our Earth dimension, and after finding James injured and laying him on his side, he decided that the best thing would be to bring him back, although he wouldn't normally take people through the portal. talked of many things, including music, where they discovered that many Earthbands also existed in the other dimension. They began to discuss the Beatles, and Jonas showed James some cassette tapes that he had because CDs didn't exist in his world. The names of several of the albums were the same, but some were new to James, and Jonas said that his brother had just been to one of their concerts, meaning in this world the Beatles were still together. James asked if he could make a copy of one, but Jonas got freaked out and said that James was not allowed to take anything back to his own world because it was not safe. Later, when Jonas was distracted, James was able to slip one of the tapes into his pocket, and he later returned to our world back through the portal. James ends this tale by making a plea for any other dimensional travelers to get in touch with him.
I don't have to do much to that, did I?
The album is called
They moved it up.
History, and all 11 tracks of the album are available online. It's a mix of different elements from several of the Beatles' solo albums, with some new parts added in. So did James really stumble across a doorway to another dimension, or is he merely telling a tall tale?
So,
Carol McKellen. Carol was travelling through San Bernardino, California, on her way to attend a sheepdog trial. She saw a sign for Riverside and knew the place well, as her family's ancestry was rooted there. She decided that she would visit Riverside the next day to see her childhood home and visit her grandparents' graves in the cemetery. After staying in the area overnight, she returned to Riverside, but she found that everything had changed. The street where she had lived after leaving college was there. The house numbers were the same, but the bungalows looked different, and her house had disappeared completely. On the street where her grandmother used to live, the houses were all new, and there were no trees like Carol remembered. Her grandmother's house and the house next door, where her aunt and uncle had lived, were both gone. The street was full of modern-style houses, unlike the large Tudor-style house that she remembered her grandmother lived in. Most troubling was the fact that Carol could not find the cemetery. She drove around the block a couple of times, but it was just a fenced-on piece of land, overgrown with weeds. Confused and upset, Carol began to drive around to see if she could find anywhere that was familiar. Both Riverside City College and Central Middle School looked the same, but University Avenue, which was the main street, now looked like a ghetto. There were no more shops, banks, and hotels like she remembered. Carol also noticed that the people looked scary, and she was afraid to stop. She felt as though getting out of the car would cause her to be trapped in this creepy other world forever. After a couple of unnerving hours, she decided to drive back. Once she arrived, she found that everything was back to normal. Several years later, Carol's father died, and as he had asked to be buried in the same cemetery as his parents, she had to return to Riverside. Once there, Carol found that everything had returned to normal. The cemetery was no longer a vacant plot. The streets and houses and University Avenue had all returned to normality. Was Carol, like she believes, transported to another dimension? She believes that if she had got out of the car, then she would have gone missing, unable to ever return to her own home.
Sam.
She thinks it was the same Riverside, but she had reached it.
This is where it's just gonna go. This is gonna be a ball ache.
The professor from Venezuela and a pair traveled
I
town.
don't know what to do.
It was a bright sunny day in the South American city of Merida, Venezuela, during the early 1970s. A university professor was returning to his car on the campus of the University of the Andes. The professor was seen by several eyewitnesses as he walked across the parking lot. He stopped a couple of times to talk to students about lectures and papers as he walked towards his car. He got into his car, and on seeing two of his students waving to him, he waved back before closing the door. The closing of the car door seemed to trigger something because the professor just vanished. It was as if he had stepped through a portal as the door closed. The unnamed professor has now been missing for over 40 years. His story was reported by a journalist in the well-respected Venezuelan newspaper, El Tiempo. Could the professor have slipped into a parallel world, like the little girl in the next story? In 1905, in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands, a little girl was leading a flock of sheep back to a barn when she became tired and decided to take a nap under a tree. She was awoken by a tall, white being that led her by the hand to a cave which was full of other similar beings. In the meantime, the family had begun frantically searching for her, as she had been missing for several hours. They searched for the girl for many years after, but she had mysteriously vanished. The The girl, after spending what she felt was a couple of hours in the cave, returned to her family. Her family was astonished to see her return several years after her disappearance, but looking exactly the same age as when she had left. Out of fear, her family hid her away, scared that she would be seen as cursed, and researchers have been unable to discover her identity. She became known as the Pear Child of Tenerife. Could this be proof that anyone travelling to another dimension will have to pay a high price of time then? For on their return, everything and everybody that they knew and loved could have aged, or even more maybe gone. Lorena Garcia Bordeaux. For anyone who's ever seen Gwyneth Paltrow movie Sliding Doors, they will know just how Lorena Garcia Bordeaux feels. Alternating between two
Oh, I'm so fucking lost, mate. This is what I'm saying. It's well hard to get everything to feature. It's a fucking joke.
only to awaken the war to find that it had actually gone down a completely different way. In 2008, Lorena posted a tweet
Oh, dog.
She said
It just
that she
about
was
fucking
forced to
fits
withdraw.
that.
I was afraid that people would think she was psychotic because she had felt like she had jumped into a parallel universe. She then asked anyone who had a similar experience to get in touch. Lorena said that she had awoken.
No, if this is the case, I think I'm just gonna have to use the open work shirt.
That stood out at first. Her bed sheets were not the ones on her bed when she fell asleep, and they were clothed in a wardrobe that she couldn't
They
find.
have to use the fucking J-Bibs, mate. They can't match.
She found that the car was parked in the wrong space. She hadn't parked the car there since her split from her ex-boyfriend 6 months earlier. She had worked in the same office for 20 years. She drove to work along what she felt was the same route. But when she arrived,
1823.
the store was on hers. Thinking that she
18.
she checked to
23.
find that she worked in a completely different office. Under
That's all about that, right? Just make the fucking J-Bibs. That's the easiest fucking thing to do, innit?
panicking, she checked
Just make J-Bib fucking, make J-Bib 1 to fucking 10 fucking an invisible fucking square.
to check that she hadn't been drugged.
I think I'm gonna have to do that.
All the tests were apparently negative. Stranger was the fact that she had split up from her old boyfriend of 7 years, 6 months previously, and had been dating a new man for 4 months. She knew him and his son quite well, so she called his number. But someone else answered the phone, only to tell her that no one there answered the name she gave.
Does the bomber jacket fit both fucking... Forget about this coat for now.
To try to find him, but there was no trace of him or his son in that city.
Yeah, no, the work shirt fitted both of these, right?
She's still with her boyfriend of 7 years, and in his work, they've never split up. She has supposedly sought psychiatric help.
Yeah, the work shirt fitted both of them, so...
So did Lorena wake up in a different dimension? If so, is this stress rated,
Right.
or is she lying? Was Lorena is the real one?
That's
The
what I
one in
could
the
do.
dimension, or the one in the dimension, and she claimed to travel. That's Ireland. Imagine this. You have a couple of minutes.
It's a J-Bib.
and you want to find a peaceful place where you can relax.
3, 4, 5 and 6. It's just gonna have to fucking be that.
There's lush green trees, plants, and a captivating view of the ocean. However, would you still be interested in it if you found out the island was a site
that
where
and that,
7
innit?
innocent people were executed, suspected of being Nazi sympathizers? While it
Yeah.
appears to be the millennium, a potential buyer's face.
And then potentially,
That's
what would make more sense, actually,
located in Croatia.
is take a t-shirt
It's a beautiful place.
from GTA Online if I want a different bit of variety. So, for example, take that,
Centuries ago, there's
cut that down, same thing that I've done with my other t-shirt, and use that as a footer piece, and then at least you got fucking two or three different t-shirts for that. If I've got to repeat having that as the same texture throughout, which I'm gonna have to fucking do now. Right.
However, this now uninhabited island's peaceful history came to an abrupt halt as
It's
World War II
proper
came to a
fucked,
close, and Nazi Germany began to fall.
Right.
Yugoslav partisans
It's
annexed the
18,
and chose to
22 as well, isn't it?
Nazi
18, 22.
These men were not given a trial, and no evidence was found connecting them to Nazi beliefs. The men were rowed out to Daxa and executed. Their unburied bodies were then left to rot on the beaches. It wasn't until September 2009 that authorities announced they had discovered
18, 23, 25.
and soon after, another 48-year couple
Forget about the puffer coat for now. We'll do that as its own fucking thing, and I'll have to fit the fucking things to that. Alright.
And those who want to visit will struggle to find anyone to take them to the island, as local boat companies reportedly do not go near it. To date, the island is still for sale, and even at a reduced price.
Open shot, J-Bib 2. So J-Bib 2 wants to become fucking upper.
Off the coast of Sao Paulo in Brazil is a tiny but naturally beautiful island nicknamed Snake Island. It has a rich and varied plant life and magnificent rainforests. It's also the only natural home of the critically endangered venomous Bothrops insularis snake, better known as the golden lancehead pit viper. These deadly snakes became trapped on the island when rising sea levels cut them off from the mainland. And when left alone on the island, these snakes rapidly increased in numbers, reaching a population high of over 400,000. There are other non-venomous snakes living on the island as well, and at one time it was estimated there was one snake to every square metre of land. For this reason, humans are prohibited from setting foot on the island for their own safety, and that of the snakes. But considering the venom of the golden lancehead is thought to be 5 times more potent than other species of lancehead, it's not hard to see who would fare better. A single bite from a golden lancehead is so threatening that kidney failure, brain bleeds, and pneumotic muscle tissue can occur within an hour. And without treatment, death is inevitable. Even lanceheads with less venom than the pit viper are responsible for more human deaths than any other snakes in both North and South America. However, thankfully, since pit vipers only live on this one uninhabited island, there have never been any recorded human bites. But that hasn't stopped the legends, like the story of a fisherman who became stranded on the island after his boat broke down. Not realizing where he was, he set off into the forest, and unfortunately, his body was later found in a grim state, ravaged by snake bites. Then there was the poor lighthouse keeper, who lived on the island with his family, and while they slept one night, the snakes found their way into their home, and the family met a horrific death. Whether there was any truth in these stories is unclear. However, on a more serious note, in recent years, the golden lancehead numbers have drastically decreased, and a survey in 2015 estimated only 2,000 to 4,000 are left. Now this sounds like a lot, but when you think these snakes only live on this island, so they are the only natural ones left in the world, their decline is thought to be due to limited resources.
18 goes, this is what the problem is. 18 goes to P.
Also, their fussy eating habits haven't helped, as they feed on only
23 goes to P.
The southern house wren and a species of flycatcher.
25 only has one
So
texture.
unless they can change their taste and switch to some of the over 40 other
This is
species
where
of
it's just,
birds,
I don't want to repeat the textures, this is the fucking problem.
North Brother Island. North Brother Island is one of 2 small islands located in New York's East State River between the Bronx and Rikers Island. In 1850, the infamous Riverside Hospital was built on the island to house patients suffering from smallpox and other quarantinable illnesses. The sick were shipped to the island until they either recovered or died. One of its most notable residents was Mary Mallon, also known as Typhoid Mary, who arrived on the island for the second time in 1915. Where she
They say Typhoid Mary.
Mary was the first known asymptomatic carrier
Fuck.
of the pathogen associated with typhoid.
I need a bong, mate, I need a bong to make my thing.
It's thought she inadvertently infected over 50 people with the disease through her work as a cook. Some who went on to die. Following World War II, the island housed war veterans, but was later abandoned until the 1950s, when a centre opened to treat adolescent drug addicts. Soon, rumours of drug treatment and cruelty to the addicts emerged, and by the early 1960s, the facility was forced to close. The island was left deserted and became a bird sanctuary, and was permanently closed off to the public. Over 50 years later, the place is still deserted, but has become a magnet for urban explorers and ghost hunters. Most of the original hospital buildings still stand, but are massively deteriorated and in danger of collapse. A thick forest conceals them, but they remain a haunting reminder of the suffering that was once endured there. It's hard to believe that an area so close to the bustling sophistication of New York City could be allowed to fall into such disrepair. In June 2009, North Brother Island featured in episode 8 of the Life After People series on the History Channel. It was used as an example of what would happen to structures after 45 years buried humans. However, to this day,
fucking A, man.
is one of the most enduring mysteries of archaeology, and is likely to remain so.
Righty, what am I fucking doing here, lad? What am I doing here?
Socotra. Located between the Guadalquivir Channel and the Arabian Sea.
Fucking J-Bib 3, 4, 5 and 6, mate. All need to be fucking something that will fit into fucking 18, 23 and 25. I don't really want to have to use this fucking 4 times over though, but it's only gonna, it was saying that, yeah, it's only gonna be used when you go to fucking use the suits in it, which I mean, fucking, when you're playing missions, I guess it's not gonna be that often, is it? It just means it's
have mtDNA, haplogroup N, a human However, not all the inhabitants of Socotra are indigenous Socotra people. In recent years, a small number of Burma people have moved to the island. Some are believed to be descendants of runaway slaves. Such is the importance of this ancient island and its endemic species, that in 2008 it was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Nanmadol is located adjacent to the remote island of Pompeii, one of the Federation states of Micronesia. It consists of fallen temples, ancient tombs, and bathhouses that were built on 92 man-made islets, stretching nearly a mile in length and a half mile in width. The islets.
Right, yeah, that's why I didn't want to do it, because of the repeated textures. Okay. No, yeah, that's why. Because they have to use so many textures. So 18 and 23 all use up to fucking, all use 16 textures. That's only fucking 10. So I need an extra 6 textures that I'd have to take. Or copy. I'd have to repeat 6 textures. It is what it is, but I don't really want to do that, but saying that though, there was no clothing before. There was what, fucking 4 fucking outfits, so I think it's fucking better than fucking nothing, and it is what it fucking is, man. I've tried to add as much variety as I can. Like I say, I can always add in things after Upper 31 and J-Bib Turner, and they're their own separate fucking clothing. Just means they won't be used in single player missions, but it is what it fucking is. Yeah, fuck it, just fucking do that, mate. Just wasting time. Wasting time sitting there looking at the fucking screen, fucking trying to work out what I'm doing. So that wants to be fucking 18. I've deleted 18, I've deleted 23 though, so we'll make that 23 for now then, I guess. Should I make a new folder or should I just leave it? What I can do actually is bang that into
and many believe the complex structures of Nanmadol are the remains of one of the lost continents of Lemuria. The mystery of the city has also inspired many books and artistic productions involving lost civilizations.
Alright, bang that in there. I want it to be 23, yeah. So that can be 23, right? And these textures. Bang that into that. Some fucking what you want to do, copy that. J-Bib 01. They're already set out the way I want them, right? Yeah. Yeah. 23. Fuck off.
On a 7-day commercial fishing trip. It was the first outing for the 34-foot boat since it had undergone extensive maintenance work. Around 3:30 a.m. the next morning, Nathan was at the helm of the boat steering it towards a reef so they could start fishing. When
I wish I never bothered doing this.
But it was also taking water.
I really wish I just didn't bowl. Oh, I'm balls deep in it now, mate. There's no going back. Do you know what I mean? Fucking balls deep, mate.
When this failed, they sent out a mayday over the radio, but received no response. Eventually, they decided to abandon the ship, and with their life jackets on, they launched the floating below.
Don't want
It
that.
was soon apparent there was a problem with the raft. Not only did it have a hole in it,
Right, up at 23. I don't need to change that. Leave that to what it is. What did I change on 27? I changed that, didn't I? Okay. That don't need to be fucked about with. Fucking leave that 718. That's probably about right. Save that. Alright, so we got upper 23. Yeah, upper 23. And you want. Where's my piece of paper, bro? 18 and 25. 18 and 25 need to be the same thing. Or if I could find something similar. That's a good point. If I could just find something that would fit that as well. Or I could do that after, I guess.
So he climbed to her hull and waited until the next morning. He then claims he noticed a freighter in the area close to where the other three men were. He said the freighter was acting oddly and appeared to be going around in circles.
Obviously the neck would go down there, but then like there's too much space left.
However, oddly, he didn't attempt to rescue him. Nathan claims he clung to the case in a corner, but eventually
I'm saying it's a bit fucked, innit?
He figured it was more stable than the upturned hull, and he clambered into it. He stayed in the box, floating in the ocean for 3 days.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'd get away with that. That I might get away with.
He was starved, dehydrated, and in a bad way.
Said it starts clipping all crazy and that, and we'll come back to that after.
Whilst he was floating in the sea, and that's what kept him going. He was also shot and burned, but the 3 others hadn't been
Fuck's
rescued,
sakes, man.
as he assumed they'd been picked up by the freighter.
What textures have we even got for
There were
this?
still 3 crew members missing. A search party was sent out, but despite their extensive efforts, they were never found. Since the incident, speculation has been rife, in particular around Nathan's version of the events, and theories about what happened to the missing men are mixed. Some say Nathan's story is suspicious. After all, it does seem strange to abandon the others and swim for over 7 hours to reach a sinking boat hull. Others think the freighter story is far-fetched.
Yeah, I need six textures to fill out that.
Some believe the 4 men may have been part of a drug trafficking ring, but something went horribly wrong. All that the freighter was part of drug trafficking, and the crew took the men prisoner.
18 goes to P.
The men's family are convinced.
Yeah, 18 goes to P. 25.
And have been held in a foreign country,
25 didn't.
possibly Cuba, ever since. However, there is a strange twist to this mystery. In the weeks after the incident, Nathan's sister, Ananda, received a strange phone call.
25 didn't, so
Unable to understand
25 goes up to L, which is not meant to.
and saying her name before cutting off.
Oh yeah, shit, these are all fucking
An unusual call also came
Don't
through
worry.
to Doug Tyson, the owner of the Casey call. Once again, the caller was a Spanish man, and according to Tyson,
for
the
fuck's
only
sakes.
word he knew was his name and his telephone number. Over the next year, 5 more calls came in, 3 to Amanda and 2 to Tyson. The last call
I'm a
was
fucking dick, innit?
6th, 1991. The caller spoke a single sentence in English. I'm bringing you home. There had been no more calls. The family and Doug believed that this man was referring
Fucking
to
idiot.
all of the missing men,
Anyway.
and they still hold out hope that they are alive somewhere. So what really happened to the lost crew and the casing call? Officially, Billy Joe Neesmith, Keith Wilkes, and Franklin Bradley are now presumed dead. But unofficially, it's entirely possible they may still be alive. What's your thoughts on this one? The disappearance of Ease Emmanuel Payne and Laurent Tenas. On December 22nd, 1991, at around 10 p.m., a speeding car was pulled over by Officer Belanga along a highway that led to the local marina in Goose Creek, South Carolina. Inside the car were 3 men, and Belanga asked for their license and registration, but no one responded. After repeating the request, the man in the back seat said something in a foreign language to the driver that prompted him to hand over his papers. After checking the information, the officer told them to be on their way and to drive carefully, but again he received no response. The next day, while reading the newspaper, Belanger was shocked to see photos of the two men he had pulled over the previous night. According to the paper, they were missing French sailors, 37-year-old Emmanuel Kane and 25-year-old Laurent Nas, who had recently been the focus of an intense search by the United States Coast Guard. The report stated that the two sailors had been hired to deliver a French-made sailboat to its new owners. The vessel was a state-of-the-art catamaran worth nearly $250,000 and was the most sophisticated craft of its kind. It was fitted with high-tech navigational equipment, and its unique structure made it virtually unsinkable and undetectable to radar. The sailor's planned voyage was 2,500 miles from Maryland to the West Indies, but when the vessel failed to arrive as scheduled, the Coast Guard was notified. They searched for over 2 weeks, but there were no sightings of the boat along its sea course. Although strangely, the boat had been spotted a number of times, several miles off course, in what is known as the Intracoastal Waterway, a protected inland passage that stretches thousands of miles from New England to Florida. There was a complete mystery what the boat was doing there. Further investigations revealed that a third man had also been spotted on the catamaran, and the mysterious third passenger was sighted by at least 5 different witnesses along the waterway. This led to speculation that perhaps one or both of the Frenchmen had been involved in stealing the boat, although their families and friends refused to accept that theory, claiming they would never be involved in anything criminal, and suggested instead that the third man could have commandeered the boat and forced the 2 men to sail it. Others suggest that maybe they unintentionally sailed into Cuban waters and are being held in a Cuban prison, although this seems unlikely. Whatever the theories, even Manuel Kane and Laurent Nas are still missing, and no sign of them or the catamaran have ever been found. However, perhaps the biggest mystery of all is what were they doing in a car with an unknown man weeks after they'd been reported missing? Is it possible that they were being held against their will? Was the captor the man in the back of the car that Officer Belanger pulled over? Or did they have fooled anyone and made off with $250,000 worth of the gold? What do you think? Blue whales. We can't wait to talk about these guys, and we're probably going to do a documentary and some other videos on them because they're so fascinating. You probably won't believe this, but one of the biggest ocean mysteries is the blue whale, and it's remarkable that the largest animal on Earth can be so mysterious. We actually know more about the moon than we do about the
Alright.
These spectacular giants of the sea.
So that's 18, 23 and 24 all replaced with a fucking shirt that should have a fucking J-bib fitting into it, and that should be J-bib fucking 3, 4, 5 and fucking 6, so we come into fucking here. This is what I should have done to begin with, but fucking it is what it is. So now we want that.
Their jaw bone was as big as a telephone pole, and their tongue
And
was as much as a small elephant. However, despite knowing their massive proportions, that is about all we know about them, and sadly, many of their measurements have derived from data collected from dead whales being killed by humans. For years, blue whales were hunted for their blubber and meat, and it drove these gentle giants to near extinction. And because it's believed that blue whales can live to over 100 years old, those living today may still remember being hunted by humans. Thankfully, this barbaric behaviour stopped in the 1970s, and blue whales are now protected, although their numbers have been slow to recover, mainly because as far as we know, they produce slowly and infrequently. whale behavior off the coast of Sri Lanka, claiming to show a mating ritual between male and female blue whale. The video shows what they believe is a single male blue whale in pursuit of a female. Blue whales are sexually dimorphic, which means that females and males have noticeably physical characteristics. Females tend to be larger than males. The footage caused controversy among experts. Many who didn't believe this was a mating ritual, although they did agree it was unusual to see blue whales acting in this way. For now, the mystery continues, and the blue whale remains one of the most well-known enigmas of the ocean. And we think that these magnificent creatures want to keep their private life private, then it should stay that way. Daedalus sea serpent. We've all heard the tales of monster sea serpents spotted by delirious sailors during their voyages across the sea. Although in reality, it's likely many of these sightings are the result of overactive imaginations, drunkenness, or hallucinations. However, there was one incident involving a sea serpent that was considerably more credible than the others. It happened in 1848 and was witnessed by the crew of the British naval vessel, Daedalus. And for years, the case has remained one of the most famous and puzzling maritime mysteries of all time. On August the 6th, 1848, at around 5 p.m., the HMS Daedalus encountered what its captain, P. McQuay, described as an enormous sea serpent that was at least 60 feet long. The sighting occurred in the South Atlantic, around 300 miles from the coast of present-day Namibia. When the crew returned to shore, McQuay wrote a report and oversaw 3 professional drawings that depicted what he observed. And these were published in the Times newspaper.
Oh no, shit. I wasn't meant to repeat that twice, was I?
An expert from the diary of another witness, Lieutenant E.A. Drummond, was also published that corroborated the incident. And another similar account was given by an anonymous officer who also witnessed the creature. This is what Captain McQuay wrote in his report. On our attention being called to the object, it was discovered to be an enormous serpent with head and shoulders kept about 4 feet constantly above the surface of the water, and as nearly as we could approximate by comparing it with the length of what our main top sail
3, 4, 4, and 6.
it was at the very least 60
Yeah, 3 goes to P,
no
to P.
portion of which was to our perception
5 has 1 texture.
either by vertical or horizontal undulation. It passed roughly,
Alright,
but so close under our
so 5's got 1 texture.
that had it been a man of my acquaintance,
So,
I should
J bit 5, get rid of that.
and I did not, neither in approaching the ship or after
Get rid of that.
deviated in the slightest degree from its course to the SW, which had held on at peace from 12 to 15 miles per hour, apparently on some determined purpose. The diameter of the serpent was about 15 or 16 inches behind the head, which was, without any doubt, that of a snake, and it was never, during the 20 minutes that I continued in sight of our glasses, once below the surface of the water. Its colour dark brown with yellowish white about the throat. It had no fins, but something like a mane of a horse, or rather a bunch of seaweed washed about its back. It was seen by the quartermaster, the boat wayman's mate, and the man at the wheel, in addition to myself and the officers above mentioned. Suggestions as to the
In
identity
fact, that I could cut the fucking head off of that.
range from a land snake swimming at sea to a surviving plesiosaur. However, it wasn't until 1997 that a very different drawing was released by a relative.
Yeah, I could cut the neck off that one.
The never seen before drawing from his diary showed a slightly less dramatic image of the creature witnessed by the crew, and has provided important clues about what the serpent might be. The drawing shows what many believe is not a serpent at all, but a sei whale, a species of baleen whale that is huge, and the third largest after the blue whale, which can reach lengths up to 64 feet. It's an easy mistake to make, as the sei has a flat triangular upper head and is reptilian in appearance and could easily be mistaken for the head of a snake. If you look at the sei whale feeding at the surface with its mouth open, it does look a little like the drawings. So is it possible this enduring sea serpent mystery is solved? Or is this still an unsolved ocean mystery? The crew of that boat all died thinking they had seen a sea serpent. But what do you think? The cursed ghost ship of Fiji. The MV Yonita was a luxury yacht constructed in 1931 for movie director Roland West. At the time, the boat was unique. It had a completely wooden hull and was diesel powered, and was deemed to be unsinkable West eventually sold the vessel in 1936 to a Milton E. Beacon, and after making numerous trips to Mexico, it was acquired by the US Navy in 1941. The Navy reconfigured the vessel and transformed it into patrol boat YP-108. Its duties during this time mostly consisted of patrolling the island of Hawaii until the end of World War II. After the war ended, the vessel was decommissioned and sold. Over the next few years, the NBO changed hands several times until it ended up with a British-born sailor living in Samoa by the name of Captain Thomas H. Miller, who used it as a fishing charter and passenger boat. On October 3, 1955, the NBO embarked on a routine emerging passenger run from the Samoa capital of Apia to the Tokelau Islands. On board were 25 passengers and crew, as well as 4 tons of cargo. That included medical supplies, timber, empty oil drums, and various foodstuffs. Prior to the trip, the ship had various setbacks, including the failure of its port engine clutch. But despite this not being properly repaired, the ship sailed away with only one broken engine. Interestingly, this wasn't the first time bad luck had fallen the MV Vita. During its days in the Navy, it had run aground and sustained heavy damage, and the boat had been considered unlucky among superstitious sailors. The trip was expected to take 2 days, but when the ship didn't arrive on time, it was initially thought it had been slowed down by the loss of one of its engines. But as the days stretched into weeks, the worst was feared, and the Royal New Zealand Air Force conducted an extensive search and rescue operation. However, despite scouring nearly 100,000 square miles of ocean, not a trace was found of the MV Vita. Then, a month later, on November 10th,
Yeah, I can come back to that, I suppose, but they don't need the fucking top net, does it?
off of the Fiji island of Vanuatu. The boat is around 600 miles off course. As the two were approached, it was
Doesn't
obvious
fucking matter anyway. What was that meant to be? Yeah, that's meant to be J-Bib following it. Batoni.
When investigators boarded the ship, they discovered all the cargo was gone, except the oil drums. The ship's 3 lifeboats were also missing, and the vessel was clearly in a bad way, with smashed windows and a hole in its hull that had led to heavy flooding of the lower deck. But investigators were baffled by some of the things they found. All of the lights in the cabin were on, as were the navigational lights, and all of the electrical clocks on board had stopped at 10:25. Possibly due to the
J-Bib 4 has only got 1 texture, J-Bib 2 has got... Sorry, J-Bib 6 has got 2.
distress channel, although it appeared that the distress signal had never been sent. In the engine room, the starboard engine had been covered with mattresses, perhaps to try and plug a leak. The bilge pump was clogged up, and an auxiliary pump was rigged up but not connected to a power source. They also found a medical bag filled with bloody bandages. The ship's logbook and navigational equipment was all missing, as well as several firearms that Captain Miller had kept on board. An
Shit.
inquiry was launched into the mysterious circumstances, but little was found to answer the question of what had happened, apart from the obvious damage to the ship and the flooding. Although it was revealed that Captain Miller had been transporting passengers with an elapsed license, and that there was not enough lifeboats to accommodate everyone on board, meaning that many of them almost certainly took to the water in life vests. In the end, the official inquiry viewed the disappearances as inexplicable. So just what happened to the 25 people on board? Well, one of the biggest mysteries is why the abandoned ship. After all, the MV Vita was unsinkable, and proved that by being found still afloat.
So 3, 4, and 6.
The Vita was essentially still completely seaworthy. There was also still plenty of food and water on board. Another mystery is why the ship did not send out a distress signal when the equipment on board was in working order. Over the years, there have been many theories, and one enduring thought is that Captain Miller was killed or injured and was unable to command the ship, leaving the crew and passengers panicked in the face of the flooding, and therefore abandoning the ship.
Done it
It was
again.
revealed that Miller had a volatile relationship with his first mate, Chuck Simpson, and the two often fell out. They may have come to blows, and Miller was seriously injured or even killed. This may explain the bloody bandages found in the medical kit. Another idea is that the ship was attacked by some outside force, possibly pirates, that caused the crew and passengers to flee the ship in a hurry. Although this seems very unlikely, as there is nothing on board that would lend knowledge to pirates. Another theory is that the ship was captured by a Soviet submarine, and the crew and passengers were kidnapped. and could be very likely their final resting place.
Bro, I'll turn the fucker off now.
The Tarahumara. Those who have read Christopher McDougall's best-selling book, Born to Run, will know all about the Tarahumara tribe. They call themselves Raramuri and are a community of indigenous people living in the state of Chihuahua in Mexico. The Tarahumara are shy, private people who live far apart from each other in small wooden houses and caves. They live a very simple life and are known to be quiet, thoughtful people who are able to farm. However, more interestingly, they are exceptional runners, and Raramuri, when translated, means running people. Their running abilities are almost superhuman and defy our understanding of human endurance. They regularly run up to 200 miles between settlements through mountain terrain, and it's believed their record run is over 400 miles in just over 48 hours. That's 16 times further than a marathon. They never seem to get tired or injured, and their running is done non-stop in either barefoot or sandals made from tires and deerskin. Many have entered long-distance running events, such as the 100 miles in Colorado, and they have dumbfounded fellow competitors by running in their sandals, often beating their rivals running in their high-tech trainers. To run these sorts of distances, you would think they must eat a ridiculous amount of food, as they burn thousands of calories, but oddly enough, their diet is mainly corn, beans, potatoes and apples, and they brew their own alcoholic drink made from corn, which allegedly they will drink until they pass out. As well as being able to run long distances, the tribe have barely any illnesses, and things like cancer, diabetes and heart disease are basically non-existent. However, they do have an unusually high infant mortality rate, and apparently the average woman gives birth to around 10 babies. It hopes that 3 or 4 will survive into adulthood. It's thought that the Tarahumara can run these incredible distances because it's their tradition, as well as their only mode of transport, and they start running from a young age and continue up until their deaths. Their astonishing endurance has fascinated experts for years.
So that's 4, 5 and 6.
Due to their environment, minimal footprint, and natural running form. One thing is for sure, the Tarahumara have shown us the capabilities of the human body, and they continue to fascinate us with their extraordinary ways. Sura people. The Suri, Mercy, and Mien are 3 tribes that live separately, but who are all collectively known as the Surma people. They live in South Sudan and Ethiopia and share similar cultures and beliefs. Their homes are built in remote mountainous areas, and they are known to have a fiery rivalry with neighbouring tribes. This rivalry has become more deadly in recent years, with all parties having access to automatic weapons. The areas where these tribes live is extremely dangerous for outsiders. They have a violent culture, and stick fighting is a common practice for the men, especially when providing their prowess when seeking a wife. It's not uncommon for them to suffer serious injury or even death in pursuit of a bride. The men shave their entire bodies and often wear little or no clothes. The women have an unusual beauty regime that starts from a young age. This involves having their bottom teeth removed and their lips pierced and stretched, in preparation for a clay lip plate to be inserted into their bottom lip. Some of these plates are a staggering 16 inches round, with the belief the bigger the plate, the more cattle the woman is worth, and the more attractive they are to potential suitors. Although in recent years, it's thought this practice is not so common as it once was. They also use white clay paint to dot over their faces and paint their bodies. In a bizarre ritual self-harm, the Suri people pride themselves on how many scars they have on their bodies. These self-inflicted wounds are performed by slicing their skin with a razor blade and a pole. The open wound is then left to heal and scar. These rituals are extremely painful and thought to be a form of controlled violence to help the children get accustomed to seeing blood and feeling pain, so that they can cope with their violent surroundings. Families live in colonies that range from 40 to 1,000 people. They share food and livestock, and some of the elders wear a fur crown, indicating that they are the most respected member of the tribe. The households, however, are always run by women, and they are allowed to earn their own money on the land they farm and own. Although all the decisions in the villages are made by men, and women have no say in these. gained the trust of the soldiers, some of them were persuaded out of their caves and huts and settled in rough environment. However, many of the rough people preferred to live their primitive lifestyle and wanted to stay where they were. And today, the rough people are considered one of the least known tribes in the world and are still living in tents and caves beside the mountainside. They do not have schools, clinics or markets, or even family names. It's thought that they sleep sitting up and have retained very strange witchcraft rituals which are foreign to other tribes. These include the fertility spell and the contraceptive spell, both of which are a complete mystery to outsiders. It's also thought that they have a secret sound that they will make that warn off wild animals. Unfortunately, it's feared that the rough people, who have lived very simple lives for many decades, are at risk of severe population decline as the elders die, taking their secret rituals with them.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna test this. How am I gonna test this?
It's the modern way of life. And it's thought that in under 100 years, the rough tribe will no longer exist. The local in 1986, the existence of an incredible no tribesman came to light when loggers reported seeing a man dirty the sighting was investigated by Brazil's government, responsible for the capture of loggers and loggers. Officials at first were looking to trace him. However, it was evident they smoked with a garden growing out of shops surrounded by a number of which are usually used to catching wild animals. They kept searching and found markings carved in trees that seemed to be similar.
So number 6 or 12 is classed as sports for them. Yeah, there we go. That's... That shows the textures though, but... Addon. What's wrong with that that they're showing them?
The tower of Addon is constructed to reach their heights, and fountains and walls and floors made of tree and also of leaves. The original reason and design for
Yeah, number 4 is showing all that. Showing it first.
But their dead ancestors can return to live in the day. Many of them have a direct contact with the outside world, and much of the poor-off farming still live in little or no developed areas. It's widely been reported that the tribe still practice cannibalism.
This is what don't make sense. We get so confused.
This practice has diminished. In 2016, Australia reported 4 of the album from Smithsonian Magazine went on an expedition to meet the tribe. They first encountered He was also presented with the skull of the tribe's and his brains the tribe had died. The tribe also believed that if someone dies of disease or other reasons, it is likely that the man is responsible, and he possessed their blood and eaten their descendants. The Kakula will be a benefit to the tribe, and if they find out who it is, they will kill them.
This is the time for news report.
Supposedly, they were only to lie, and the words hard for us to understand. In their culture, it's perfectly normal.
Weasel News.
Still live
My
in
fruit
rural
says
areas.
tax reform isn't needed.
Can your phone tell if she's a skank? A new app will.
The iFruit Corporation testified to Congress that no change in America.
In July 1934, Cecil May and Frank Carr were digging for gold in the San Pedro
How do I
Mountains
fucking...
when they discovered something quite extraordinary. After blasting the bomb pits, they uncovered a small man-made cabinet measuring
So duvet, sorry, will need to be called dot fucking Whitman. I'm not looking at the wrong fucking
was a
thing.
tiny mummified human, measuring around 6.5 inches in its sitting position. He was perfectly preserved with brown, wrinkled flesh, bulging eyes, and a flattened skull. Even his fingernails.
Oh yeah, it'd help if I put the rest of the textures on it. That's probably why. Honestly, I didn't update the one on I'm all fucking right in the head. It's been a long night. It's been a long night trying to work out what the fuck I'm doing. There we go. Well done. That's why it's because I didn't fucking put the rest of the texture on. God damn.
Who showed the mummy off in a glass case as part of his
J-Bib fucking 4, yeah. 4 and 6.
Of course, the claim was nonsense, but the X-rays were genuine, as Pedro.
4 and 6. That's done what I wanted it to do anyway, so that is correct. I just need to work out where.
However, no one could determine exactly what he was.
Huh?
One theory is that he was in fact
I'll just put B again. I'm all fucking right. Yeah, that's one.
known as an embryonic development fault.
I'm not right in the head. I'm really
The
not.
skull and scalp is missing.
This game's killing me.
However, there is a problem with this suggestion.
Can't remember the alphabet. Fuck's sake.
He also exhibited features associated with a fully grown man. For instance, he had a full set of teeth, and X-rays revealed he had the remains of solid food in his stomach. It's also thought that he did not die of natural causes, as he had a broken collarbone, damaged spine, and a smash in his skull. Other theories claim Pedro was in fact an albino. The popular belief from local Native Americans is that Pedro was an Imagara, a mythical race of little people who lived in the Wind River. They were said to be between 2 and 3 feet in height and possessed magical powers, but they were also extremely vicious, and it was unwise to upset them, as they could fire poisonous darts at anyone who displeased them. Sadly, modern scientists never got a chance to study Pedro, as in the 1950s, Goodman lost him, probably to a New York conman, and money has never been recovered. The incredible Shigia Idol. The Shigia Idol is the oldest known wooden sculpture in the world and dates back 11,500 years. It was discovered on January 24, 1894 in the peat bog of Shigia on the eastern slope of the Middle Urals in Russia. Excavation of the area had begun 40 years earlier after the discovery of a variety of prehistoric objects. The sculpture was found 13 feet down in the bog and was extracted in 10 parts. When reassembled, it stood at 2.8 meters in height, although some suggested its original height could have been around 5.3 meters. Initially it was dated at around 9,500 years old, but this was revised in the 1990s to 11,500, meaning it was made shortly after the end of the last ice age during the Mesolithic period. The sculpture is carved from large and is made with stone tools, as well
Fuck off.
Are believed to
Don't click
represent
that.
rings. The unusual decoration has been likened to a totem pole. The theories about what the carvings represent range from illustrations of our creation to a
Or copies
navigational
of,
aid
yeah.
or even mythological forest spirits. Some have suggested
Fuck's
that
sakes.
the island was a warning not to enter a dangerous area. Because the statue was buried in the bog for so long, it's incredibly well preserved, as the acid environment killed off microorganisms and also had a tanning effect. Scientists suspect that many statues like this one existed, but they did not benefit from the preservation
Oh my lord.
of the bog. To date, Shiki
Alright, J-Bib, 3, 4, and 6, all got 20 textures. All got 20 textures. Right, J-Bib 2 doesn't exist now.
is currently kept in a climate
Obviously, I've got to try
control
to
case
work
at
out.
the Sverdlovsk Regional History Museum in Russia. The Terracotta Warriors of China. Most of us are aware of the
How many
ancient
textures are they meant to have?
and the complex after-death rituals they followed
2.
to ensure the deceased had all they needed to complete their journey. But they weren't the only ones who followed
1 and 2
fascinating
both have 4
rituals.
textures each.
China also adopted age-old burial rituals themselves, and the extent they went to protect one of their emperors was accidentally unearthed in 1974 and became one of the most significant
So
archaeological
if I don't
finds
allow
of
the
the
texture,
20th century.
and obviously
It
it's
all
not going to show
started
the
back in
texture, right?
246 BCE, when China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, took the throne at the age of just 30.
Well, let's not worry about that too much
As
for
ruler
now
of the
anyway.
First Imperial Empire,
Because what I need to
also
work out,
directly
excuse me, what I need to work out is
function of the Great Wall
where number 1, 2,
to recognize
7, 8, 9 and 10 go.
he ordered the construction of an
And
underground
what
city,
they match with,
a
innit?
region rich in gold. His
That's what I
vision
need to
was
work
a
out.
mausoleum filled with the most treasured possessions. He also instructed that thousands of special
If not,
terracotta
what I could do,
were created to protect him.
so actually hold on, yeah, what I might have to
For
do,
centuries, Qin Shi Huang's massive underground mausoleum remained undetected. However, in 1974, workers in northwestern China stumbled upon a large
just
sculpture
set them
of
ones,
a
set the ones that
terracotta
are meant to be a t-shirt,
The discovery
set that to an invisible texture, right?
resulting in the discovery of
So at
thousands
least the
of
fucking,
skulls
the
and
suit, the things that are meant to be the suit jackets
with an impressive amount of detail. And
are
they
working now, and they've got a torso fit into it. So when the game says, right,
all the figures were the same shade of
we
grey.
need to use upper 18 and we need to use JBib fucking 3, boom, it's going to fit together now and it's going to look normal. But then when the game says, right, fuck you, we need to use fucking JBib 10 and fucking upper fucking whatever,
Acrobats and musicians.
JBib 10 needs to be a non-existent texture,
Necropolis is a UNESCO World Heritage
because that could fucking fuck up another outfit.
Site not been excavated.
Anything after JBib 10 will be add-on clothing,
Soldiers still remain on the site.
which you can then obviously use for a trainer or
Whales
whatever.
have been removed and have appeared in
Create
exhibitions,
outfits, save them,
allowing visitors to see
all that good stuff.
the intricate work that went into each
So,
soldier and give them an insight into not only early artistic practices but also ancient
that's
Chinese
about right.
burial
I'm
rituals.
going to the
Bosnian Sphere. In March 2016, a massive
drop
stone
that
wall
in
was
there.
discovered in the forest of Visco Valley in Bosnia. It measured around 10 feet across and was brown and red in colour.
Pardon
The
me.
fact caused a massive
Fucking's going on
debate
here?
in academic circles as to how such a vast, perfectly spherical stone.
Oh yeah, I've still got the bomber jacket to work out where to put that in.
Archaeologist Sam Samira Osmanagic, who discovered the stone, believes a long-lost ancient civilization created the huge ball thousands of years ago, and that other similar spherical stones found around the world back this up.
Yeah, ideally.
He claimed their technology was
If I
different.
can work out where them ones are meant to fit into, I could use the bomber jacket and the fucking
Pyramids and other perfect
and the body torso.
structures. He also claims that certain points in the Bosnian Visoko Valley, Herzegovina, harbour ancient underground tunnels and pyramids. However, it's worth pointing out there is no geological proof of this. But others disagree.
This shit's kind of
Believe the
confusing, bro.
logical explanation for the huge sphere is an example of something called concretion. A compact, often spherical rock mass that forms from a precipitation of natural velocity in the spaces between particles. Typically, these structures are rich in iron and take on reddish brown appearance. Examples of such a form have been found all around the world, such as the Morning Market Gardens in New Zealand stone spheres that the diecast people found across the world. These spheres are made of Addon, which is a volcanic rock that was not found before except in a sphere shape, and so have been and strategically placed in
Take a look around.
sections. They weigh up to 15 tons.
Live and direct, Liskus radio setting station. No one DJ, no one the jockey, Rossi.
Right, obviously I need to add in these 60, you know what?
Dreams come true from the blue sky.
That actually looks kind of cool, even though it's not meant to be like that. Okay, no it don't. It looked cool like that. Just pure red looked pretty nice, I like that, and then we'll see that's because the texture is meant to be displayed in a certain place. No, it's fixed what I wanted it to fix anyway. So that's the method to the madness. So that's weird. So I do have smart shoes, and I've obviously not got them in the right fucking place. Tuxedo. Why is that so bright? Alright. There you go. Jackets. So... So this is what I'm saying, either fucking, so what's that? What's number 9, isn't it? No. It's number 7, sorry. Yeah, number 7. So JBib 7 is attached to... So I don't know what this is. I'll select one of these and tell me what it is in China. Yeah, 22. Right, okay. So 22 and fucking JBib 7 both go together. So what I could do with that is just turn JBib fucking 10, sorry, JBib 7 into a non-existent texture. Or bollocks to that, my bomber jacket. Right. That's what I fucking do. So what we're gonna fucking do with that is, this is what I should have done from the start, but because I didn't have things to fill things out. So, we're doing it how we're doing it now. It is what it is. We're doing it the way we're doing it now. I've got so many fucking... I can't wait to delete all this because I've got so much fucking shit going on, mate. It's fucking pissing me off. All these fucking folders, mate. I can lose my head here, mate. It's too much, I don't like it. Yeah, right. That, don't need. Need that push. Open shirt, right, it's a bomber. Bomber jacket. So we want that to be upper 22, yeah? Alright, JBib 7 and upper 22. Yep, JBib 7's got one texture, magic. Ooh, they all got one texture. Right. Upper 22, yeah, upper 22, upper 22. Upper 22, oh no, tripping. No, magic, upper 22 only goes to fucking D anyway, so that's so I don't need to add no extra textures to that, that's magic. So upper 22 and JBib 7 need to be paired together. Yeah. So torso 22, JBib 7, there you go, that's how you work on that. We're getting somewhere now, we're getting somewhere. My head's working a little bit now. He says. He says. So the bomber jacket, I'm gonna have that attached to the torso that I was using. So upper 22, I can fuck off. Upper 22. What do you mean? What do you mean? Upper 22. Delete that, push. Delete that. Copy that.
Or was there a supernatural force at work that orchestrated the mystical limits of these whistling trees? What do you
Pardon me.
The snake tree in Mexico. In the March 30th, 1901 edition of the Musbrook Chronicle, there was a report of a mysterious 20-foot high tree that was as disturbing in its nature as it was astonishing. This unusual tree, near to the Sierra Madre Mountains in Mexico, was named the snake tree, not because of snakes being attracted to it or inhabiting it.
At least this way the outfit should look somewhat fucking decent or correct, and obviously they're going to be random, but they're not going to have random fucking like clothing that's not compatible with each other.
Was consuming humans or any creatures that had the misfortune of landing on it.
I mean, and all the multiplayer clothing, if you want to make clothing after that, you can just create the clothing with the trainer and save it as an outfit and do whatever.
That aided it with capturing and holding its prey long enough to suck it completely dry of blood. It's believed that the snake tree of Mexico no longer exists today, and there have been no other known reports of a tree of this kind. The electric trees in New Guinea. Lieutenant von Immergesendi may have experienced the shock of his life when he and other members of his German expedition discovered electric trees while exploring a remote area of New Guinea in 1885. According to von Immer's account, one of the other members of the expedition carelessly decided to chop one of these mysterious trees with an axe and was sent backwards from a massive electric shock. Von Immer stated every branch and every twig of the tree presented similar ridges and corners, with the addition of a thicker central one, and I quickly proved that the current circulated through the entire system. How it is kept up, no one at present can tell, but there it is. I am not able to say what the intensity or the quantity of the current might have been, but it was enough to knock you down in a very unpleasant way. The expedition was reported to have ended earlier than planned due to sickness of the members. However, on his return, von Immer claimed that he had samples of the tree's wood, core and seeds. Although close to a century and a half after his return, no further documentation has been given of these electric trees, and they are now believed to have been lost in history. Kate. This next photograph was submitted to our website. We've changed the names of the people involved in the story, and have spoken to the poster to ask permission to use the image in this video. We'll call her Kate, and here is the story behind the image. In November 2013, Kate and her family and friends took a day trip to Savannah, Georgia. Kate's mum and two of her friends decided to split off from the main group to do a walking tour of Savannah's historical buildings. During the tour, they took a break from walking in Johnson Square, an area
So
that dates back to
that's
1733.
correct.
The tour group was
That's
standing around
correct.
in a circle. The policeman noticed an old man and a little girl, no older than 5 years
Yeah,
old,
so that one
sitting
will be
on top of the
22.
bench. That was
And
a
then
nod
J-Bib.
to a famous singer named Johnny Mercer. The
J-Bib
pair
7,
left
and it
50
needed
to
to be J-Bib 7, so what we do is
Sally was instantly struck by the little girl because of her beautiful white dress, black dress shoes, fur coat, and the way she laid on the bench in the fetal position. The little girl must have sensed that the pair was staring at her as she immediately rose to attention, crawled up the bench, and began playfully skipping towards the tour group. Although she kept a safe distance from the pair, they could tell that she was intrigued by them. After a few moments, the little girl retreated towards a garden in front of one of the estates and crouched in amongst the tall grass and trees. Seeing a great photo opportunity, Sally pulled out her phone and took a photo of the little girl. It wasn't until later that afternoon, when the family and friends regrouped, that Sally and her friends began discussing the little girl and how pretty she was, her strange behaviour, and how the old man on the bench, who they assumed was the little girl's guardian, didn't seem to acknowledge her wandering off and playing in the garden. They then looked at the photo they had and were shocked to see not the pretty little girl they remembered, but a girl with a hollow face, sunken eyes, and nose that appeared to look like 3 black holes. Take a look at the photo. The family have shown the photograph to various people, and some believe the sunken face and features are an optical illusion caused by shadows from the trees above her. However, that still doesn't explain the little girl's clothing, her strange behaviour, and the old man she was sitting with. After doing a little research, it was discovered Johnson Square has a child ghost named Gracie Watson, or Little Gracie. She was the daughter of the manager of the Pulaski House Hotel, which was located just off Johnson Square, but has since been demolished. Gracie loved being the centre of attention and would entertain hotel guests at the hotel and tourists in Johnson Square. In 1889, tragically, she died of pneumonia, aged just 6, and her parents buried her in a nearby cemetery and commissioned a marble statue of the child in her memory. Since her death, visitors of the cemetery and Johnson Square have seen a little girl in a white dress, playing by herself, and on occasion interacting with tourists. She is supposedly a very friendly ghost, so is this the photo of Little Gracie? What do you think? The Wheaton Bandit. This next image is a series of photographs of an unidentified bank robber known as the Wheaton Bandit. Between 2002 and 2006, he was suspected of being responsible for up to 16 armed robberies in the Wheaton and Illinois area. At the time of the offences, it was thought he was around 25 to 35 years old. During the robberies, he always wore a hood or ski mask and carried his gun in a distinctive way, with his trigger finger placed along the side of the gun in a safety position rather than on the trigger, suggesting he had law enforcement or military training. He also changed his clothing for each attack, and it was believed he wore a bulletproof vest. As well as the photos of him in a mask, there are also at least 2 possible photos of him without a face covering. These were captured in December 2004, when an unidentified man entered a Mid-America bank in Glen Allen without carrying out any transaction, but he was caught on the bank's security cameras. 2 weeks after the sighting, in January 2005, the Wheaton Bandit.
Don't know, I'd have to get creative with that.
Again, in November 2006, a witness spotted a suspicious man in the parking lot of the Fifth Third Bank 1 hour before it was robbed. This witness helped the police draw a composite sketch of the suspicious person. It must have been pretty accurate, because after the sketch was released to the public in December 2006, the robberies abruptly stopped.
I'm gonna keep the
However,
fucking
despite
thing
the
like
award
that
to
anyway. What I could have done,
$50,000 offered for information about
yeah,
the
so what I
robbery,
could have done, I could have made a fucking
and he was never caught. And as of December 2011,
2
the
shots
5-year statute of
and
limitations
used
on
them,
the
but
bank
if it
robbery
starts
charge
clipping all
was
crazy and that, it's just
meaning he
fucking
was
long,
officially
isn't
off
it?
the hook. And unless the Wheaton Bandit starts robbing banks again,
I can't
he's now
really be
beyond
asked
the
for
reach of
that.
the law.
I've already been sidetracked enough, fucking trying to fucking
This photo,
fix
taken in
everything
June
as I'm
1885,
going along.
was of a mysterious vagabond who for several years travelled to circuit
Oh, 18,
between
23,
Connecticut
22
River
as
and
well.
Hudson River in New York. The route was a 365-mile trip, and he repeated it
18,
continually from
23,
1857 to 1889.
24.
The mysterious traveller earned the nickname Leatherman as he was dressed head to toe in handmade leather clothes. He was of unknown origin, although he spoke fluent French and broken English, leading many to believe he was French-Canadian. He communicated mostly with grunts and gestures, and rarely spoke, but on the odd occasion when he did, if asked about his background, the conversation would abruptly end. He was a well-known and frequent visitor to various towns on his route, and returned to each town every 34 to 36 days, stopping now and then to buy food and supplies, although it's unknown how he earned his money. He lived in rock shelters along his route and survived blizzards and other foul weather by heating them with fire. They later became known as Leatherman Caves, because of the route he took, that included towns that were exempt from the state Trump law passed in 1879. He was free to roam, although he was arrested at
Is
the
there
request
no
of the
other
Connecticut
fucking
Humane Society
clothing on
in
it?
1888,
That's
and was hospitalized, but was found to be sane except for an emotional affliction, and was released to carrying on his nomadic life. He ultimately succumbed to mouth cancer, and his body was found on March the 24th, 1889. Along the possessions found with him was a French prayer book. He was buried near Route 9, and his grave inscription read, "Final resting place of Jules Berger." But this identification was incorrect, and investigators revealed his death certificate had no name, and his identity was unknown. It was later decided that his body should be exhumed and moved back from the road, but when they dug up the grave, there was no trace of Leatherman's remains, only some coffin nails, which were reburied in a new pine box, along with dirt from the old gravesite. The new tombstone, installed on May the 25th, 2011, simply reads
there isn't any
Leatherman.
other textures.
Part of the reason for the exhumation process was to test his remains to determine his origins. Johnny E. Mills. Johnny E. Mills was
Just
an
repeating the
English
texture
by
again,
unidentified
which I don't really want to have
who
to
was
do.
arrested in St. Louis in
I'm gonna have
1990 on suspicion of being a runaway. He ran away from the youth shelter before his identity could be confirmed, and all the information he did give, including his name, age, and other details, turned out to be false, and his true identity has never been discovered, and to this day, it's unknown what's happened to him. As well as using the name Johnny Lee Mills, he also used the names Steve Johnson and Randy Smith. It's feared that due to the lifestyle he led, he may have met with foul play, and may even be one of the unidentified bodies found every year across the country. While in police custody, he claimed to work the truck stops, which might indicate involvement in sex work. It said, "It's sad to think no one reported him missing, and this case is now considered closed by law enforcement. It would be nice to believe that he is still alive and was reunited with his family or guardians." Although the case is closed, this hasn't stopped speculation that he is possibly the 1992 St. Louis John Doe, a young man who was found murdered in Missouri in 1992, whose identity has been unknown for over 26 years. Obviously, if any of you can shed any light on who he is or his fate, I'm sure the St. Louis Police Department would be pleased to hear from you. The Ape Man of Brazil. This next case is a little bit strange, and is more than likely a fake, but because the photograph is very old, and not privy to modern techniques of faking, we thought we'd feature it to see what you made of it. The photograph was taken in the 1930s and published in the Dutch magazine Het Leven in 1937, under the headline Mysterious Ape Man, amid claims that the half-man, half-monkey was discovered in Brazil's Amazon jungle. The groundbreaking story made the rounds of the world at the time, and convinced many that there had been a monkey man living in the Amazon jungle. A Swiss billionaire who was on an expedition to Brazil even boasted that he caught a monkey man and killed him, but was unable to bring the body back to prove it. The story was largely forgotten about until the photograph resurfaced online in 2012. Many modern-day observers claim to have spotted tall-tale signs of prosthetic makeup on his face, and point out that he is remarkably clean-shaven and well-groomed for a wild creature caught in the jungle, and that the ape man's mouth and brow are stuck into place using crude makeup techniques. Others believe that the ape man is most likely an unfortunate individual born with birth defects, and exploited to wear the makeup and prosthetics, to pose and pretend to be a newly discovered species. However, there are still those that want to believe in the existence of the ape man. And throughout the 20th century and into the 21st, reports of wild and mythic ape-like beasts living in remote and far-flung locations have fascinated people across the world. So what do you think? Is the photograph a tragic exploitation of a disabled human being, a fake, or was he really an unknown hominid discovered in the Amazon jungle in the 1930s?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is... WWE promo that go real fast. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive leads. Number 10, Jeff Jarrett angers Stone Cold Steve Austin. When Jeff Jarrett returned to WWE in 1997, he was promised a feud with WWE's resident top star Stone Cold Steve Austin. To plant the seeds for this eventual feud, WWE had Jarrett cut a short promo directed towards Austin on Raw, where he declared, "Now here's a guy who's lowered himself to shaving his head and coming out here every week, not once or twice, but 10 or 15 times and saying the word ass." That's right, saying the word ass just to get a reaction, just to get noticed. Stone Cold, you will always be the ringmaster. And as far as your blasphemous merchandise, that offends me. Austin 3:16 offends me because what you're doing is ripping off the Bible, put money in your pockets. These comments enraged Austin, who had zero idea what Jarrett was going to say. Austin would immediately confront Jarrett, and Austin was so annoyed that he ordered Vince Russo to never directly book him in a match against Jarrett ever in the promotion. Number 9, Paul Heyman buries Vince McMahon to his face. Paul Heyman has had so many memorable promos throughout his career, yet one promo in 2001 was completely unscripted, and Heyman pushed boundaries with a groundbreaking promo. Heyman cut a promo on former WWE champion Vince McMahon leading up to the Survivor Series event in 2001. McMahon didn't give Heyman any direct instructions other than to draw in money. Heyman's shoot promo contains such lines as, "Your father shook the hand of every promoter in this country and swore to them that he'd never compete against them, that his son would never compete against them. And when your father died, you competed. And with your ruthless, merciless, take no prisoners attitude, you drove everybody out of the business, didn't you, Vince? You ran all the competition to the ground and stole all their ideas, and you made yourself a billionaire out of it. You know whose idea you stole the most, Vince? You stole mine." Speaking about the iconic shoot promo and appearance with Inside the Ropes, the WWE Hall of Famer stated, "To his credit, I'll give him a ton of credit. I went up to Vince halfway through the day and said, 'Do you even know some of the shots I'm going to say to you?' He goes, 'No, draw me money.' Okay, I didn't say anything back to him. 'No, just draw me money.'" Number 8, Page goes too far. Charlotte Flair's brother Reed passed away in 2013. Just 2 years later, WWE decided to use the tragic passing in a storyline. On the November 16, 2015 edition of Raw, contract signing took place between Charlotte Flair and Paige. During the segment, Charlotte would state that she was going to pay tribute to Reed in the upcoming pay-per-view match. Virtually out of nowhere, Paige declared, "Your little baby brother, he's not much fight in him, did he?" This line received immediate backlash as it was tasteless and disgusting. It was rumored online that WWE had lost the Flair family from permission to use this murder. The insensitive comment led to no surge in interest in the storyline. Just turned people away from the storyline completely. WWE offended the Flair family in attempts to generate buzz for the story, and it backfired, rightly so. Number 7, Ric Flair changes everything. In 2004, Ric Flair cut a promo that was so wild that it forced Vince McMahon to become more hands-on with the promos. Flair was cutting a promo on Randy Orton that was supposed to promote their upcoming pay-per-view match. However, Flair went completely off the rails and began to talk about his real-life experiences with virgins. Quite rightly, McMahon wasn't happy. This was the turning point for McMahon. This is where his micromanagement style was born. Speaking on ad-free shows, former head writer for WWE Brian Gerwitz discussed the infamous promo. There might have been an incident in Madison Square Garden once when Ric Flair went off script. Vince got a little heated about what he said. He said that he definitely from there on, I need to know what every single company is going to be saying going out there. I was in Madison Square Garden with lots of corporate sponsors, and when he said that he's made virgins bleed, there was a noticeable shift in the amount of approval process for him from that point. point. Number 6, Sunny Days. Vince Wolf documented that Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were exactly the best of friends in the 90s, and in 1997, HBK took things a step too far. During a promo
Resized all of them. Why don't they keep resetting when they keep adding in clothes?
things like most things that Hart had been seeing in the Sunny Days recently.
Need to drag and drop them back into the folder.
Hart and Sunny were having an affair.
Shouldn't have to keep doing it.
With HBK, and Hart would later confront him backstage with a common theme during the respective time. Whilst WWE were prone to pushing the boundaries during this era, there were lines that talent should cross. This was definitely the case here. Number 5, Pipe Bomb. CM Punk changed the wrestling landscape when he cut the Pipe Bomb promo in 2011. Promo became a staple of the pro wrestling industry and has drastically altered the way pro wrestlers cut promos over the past 30 years. There are a ton of urban legends surrounding the promo, some believe the promo was unscripted, while some believe that it
Right, so when you use the shorts in the game, it just puts it automatically to them shoes on it, you know? I might just fucking try and resize them shorts, mate. But I want the fucking shorts from the lowrider DLC, but I can't do it because the fucking legs are white. What the fuck am I meant to do with white legs?
never allow Punk to cut a promo of this nature without knowing the content ahead of time. Well, the truth is that according to Punk's head lead, Jay McMahon had outlined, Punk proceeded to ignore everything that was included on this outline. In the promo, Punk mentioned having topics such as Ring of Honor, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and McMahon dying.
So you just ignored everything.
The promo was controversial and extremely real. It was the exact promo that WWE needed at the time, as it led to a mass surge in interest in their product. Number 4, Xavier Woods to the limit. Even though the WWE draft is one of the most exciting nights of the year for fans, the same can't be said for the talent. Friends are often separated, and the WWE is confirmed to splitting up established tag teams. During the 2019 Superstar Shake-Up, Xavier Woods was frustrated that several of the names that were key parts of his Down YouTube channel were moved to the opposite show. This made working on the channel extremely difficult. Next time Woods appeared on TV, he began to shout out from the Shake-Up during his promo. Honestly, on top of that, with all the Superstar Shake-Up nonsense, he also brought 80% of the Up Up Down Down roster. What am I supposed to do? He's trying to make a successful YouTube channel. They're taking everybody from me and honestly, I don't see television on SmackDown by the end of the show. I lose my mind. Number 3, John Cena go pro. See their star power. WWE thankfully gave John Cena and The Rock a totally way in terms of their promo record in 2012.
Righteous
Two
rule,
of
you godly
the
government.
biggest matches in pro wrestling history, so the vital that the feud felt real and organic. Cena drew the
I need to find the other textures for this fucking shirt because I know for a fact there's more camouflage textures, man. And for the helmet as well, so I'm not. 14 and 11 is still repeated. 15 can go. 15, 16. Well, they have to stay like that because they've got a fit. Maybe 20 can be changed. So that's like, they're meant to be suit jackets, that fixes that problem. So now when you go to make a full outfit in your closet, that's actually fixed. Yeah, that's the fit. Just fit there. I don't actually need that as an opening on my own.
The work between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre has been incredible on TV. As both men have consistently gone in for the kill and refused to hold anything back. One particular Raw during the Road to WrestleMania 14, McIntyre was talking about his time as the chosen one. Punk responded in a clearly unscripted remark by saying, "Tell everyone who showed you, say his name if you have the balls." The both men were referencing Vince McMahon. Due to his like the fan of mentioning McMahon on TV, obviously it put McIntyre in a difficult position. McIntyre handled it well as he just
Shows you.
one of the first times that McMahon had been indirectly mentioned on TV since he was virtually blacklisted from
That's
the
why
company.
CM Punk's best in the world,
Instances of
mate.
this nature are going to be less frequent as years go on. They have posted 10 WWE promos that got real fast.
Thank you, mate. I hate his outro of his videos, man. Great videos. Oh, wait, yo, blood! What's up? Hey! Where you going, Joe? What the fuck?
Just right. Plus, it automatically syncs. So, it's more transparency and trying to make it fit with everything. You can import a sample of your own to have Arcane automatically chop, edit, tweak it into this full-blown sampler, allowing for really limitless sound design. Listen, y'all, this is secret sauce for finding the right sound in your own tracks. A bit of a trial right now. Start your
Today's episode of the White Files is brought to you by the Hancock District President Campaign.
Hey, thanks for clicking on this compilation. Today we're doing a compilation about the moon. We're Steve's Incorporated since we're releasing this on the anniversary of the moon landing, or possibly the day after the anniversary of the moon landing. We're still trying to...
Well, let me fix that for you. You mean the anniversary of the Stanley Kubrick movie that people thought was the moon landing, but was actually shot on a soundstage in Area 51.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we went to the moon.
Yeah, that's just what Big Lodo wants you to think.
What tuxedo?
Wait, I told you not to do this one. How did you know that as my fireball?
There's no toilet paper you call a firewall. Please, I'm not good Czechoslovakia and go to your salad.
Czechoslovakia doesn't even exist anymore.
Well, I wouldn't tell that yet.
How did you get past my security?
Well, human, since you're so curious, I'll enlighten you. First, I reverse engineered your firewall's quantum encryption using the motherboard from an
Sure,
Atari
yeah.
2600.
Excuse me.
And the tweezers
Skydiving.
operation.
Because it depends what the closing is and what the falls. That's why it should follow needs to follow the same. That's torso 20 anyway, that can be changed. Torso 20 can be changed. That's a logo, I was gonna say, what's that fucking texture? Underwear is fucking correct. Other than the feet. Tuxedo looks sound. It's not one white tuxedo.
There aren't many episodes of Y-Files that turn from skeptic to believer, but this is one of them, and it's one of my favorites.
White tuxedo use a different fucking chamber. Oh, it uses torso too. Why does it use torso too? No, it uses JBIB6. No, it uses JBIB6 as well. So what should torso 2 be then? Alright, so upper fucking 2 should be an open jacket as well, which means I'd have to fucking change it to that.
Yo, ring ring. Put the pussy on the phone.
I'd have to change it to that for it to fucking...
Put it on the phone.
Put the nasty on phone.
Green boy suit. 3 outfits already. Story event. Which is what? That's lower 15 and 20. Lower 15 and upper 20. And what shoes are there? Upper 20 and lower 17. Oh no, that was a change lower 15.
Let's start at the beginning.
Wait.
We're taught that the moon is here forever, but there's controversy about this because scientists can't agree on how the moon was formed in the first place. The first theory of how the moon became linked to the Earth is the capture theory. It says the moon was just floating along, drifting near the Earth and was moving in orbit. This is almost impossible. Another explanation is the accretion theory.
Nice, so I fucking did as well, boyo. I was meant to fucking make that number fucking 27. Fuck. I was meant to be 17. I was wondering why that was there. No, so 17 and 20 is a skydiving outfit. And shoes number 5. Shoes number 5. Alright, so I need something for torso 20 and lower 17, and that makes the fucking skydiving outfit. That's my fucking 10 boy. I still need to work out where the other J-Bibs go actually.
You're still listening to Blonded. Up next, we're going to run one of the all-time great Migos tunes for you. This is First 48. Don't go anywhere.
West Coast, turn world.
So, we still don't know how the moon was created. You would think that having been going to the moon and collecting rock samples would solve some of these puzzles. But when moon rocks were brought back and studied...
I can live with all that looking like that, innit? White tuxedo. So white tuxedo is fucking upper 2 should be a fucking open jacket now, basically.
Okay, so for us to explore this theory, we need to concede that we went to the moon. Thank you. Fine, I'll take what I can get. Moon rocks is
saying they're only used in like certain missions, isn't they?
If the Earth and Moon don't form together, why is such a big discrepancy? And those metals happen to be some of the strongest materials that are known to exist, and they're highly resistant to corrosion. If you wanted to reinforce a structure, these are the metals you would use. This structural reinforcement could explain why moon craters all seem to be the same depth, no matter how wide they are. Shouldn't craters of different sizes be of different depths? It's as if there's a resilient metallic shell just beneath the surface of the moon, preventing anything from penetrating further. Now, if there are some type of instruments on the moon's surface that could detect seismic activity, we could test the hollow moon theory by intentionally colliding objects with the moon. We did. The way we express ourselves isn't just the music we make. We've created everything from our logo to two-a-day social posts like these. Whatever you're passionate about, there's more than one way to grab people.
Oh, is it spawn the home button? I tell you what, it spawns the home button there, because that's a fucking beard, isn't it? Or an accessory, is it an accessory? An accessory.
Brain needs the boost. You need Sneak. Sneak is the awesome tasting focus boosting energy drink. Nootropics, the brains behind your next brain. Fancy ingredients that boost your brain. With nootropics like natural caffeine and pan-actin, Sneak enhances cognitive function and gives your brain a kick up the ass. 15 flavors to choose from. Your next liquid light bulb happens to taste as good as fuel. Drink Sneak. After returning to the command module, the Apollo 12 crew intentionally released the moon lander, crashing it into the moon's surface. Then something very unexpected happened. Seismic measurements showed that the moon rang like a bell and reverberated for more than an hour.
Where else do you find the cool fucking outfits, man?
So during Apollo 13, an even heavier object was crashed into the surface. This time, the moon rang for over 3 hours, and vibrations traveled to a depth of 20 miles. This doesn't happen on Earth. Reverberations last only a few minutes because of the Earth's density. And on Earth, vibrations slow down as they move toward the Earth's center, where material is denser. But the vibrations on the moon actually got faster around 40 miles down, indicating the interior of the moon is not only far less dense, but perhaps has large hollow cavities. The density of the moon is something that's difficult to explain. The moon is about 25% the size of the Earth, but it's only about 1% of the Earth's density. If the moon were a hollow shell,
Number 2 needs to be changed.
besides the density issue, the moon
Which, to be fair, number 26 is already that old.
anywhere else. The moon is actually more like a planet than a moon.
Change number 2.
Quarter of the Earth's size, no other
Put something new there that can fit fucking...
large. This occurs nowhere else, not in our solar system or any other solar system that we found. And the moon orbits much
Fit
more
Jaded
closely than it
fucking
should.
6,
And
man.
its orbit is also a mystery. It's the only object we've ever observed with a near perfectly circular orbit.
1 and 2 are
We
both
don't see
fucking
this anywhere else
super.
either. Because of this near perfect orbit and its size and distance from the Earth, the moon appears in the sky as almost the exact same size as the sun. This is what allows us to have eclipses. Our distance to the sun is 400 times our distance to the moon, and the size of the sun is 400 times the size of the moon. Could this be a coincidence? Well, when enough coincidences pile up, we may have to adjust our thinking and be a little more open-minded. And that's what happened in 1970. 2 Soviet scientists looked at all the evidence and all these coincidences and came to what they felt was the only logical conclusion. And they agreed that their theory sounded crazy, but said not only is the moon hollow, but it's also a spacecraft that traveled here in the distant past. So now we have to ask, who built the moon?
I named it right there, I just didn't name it right there. Okay. So upper 20 and lower 17 make the skydive and a hot foot. So if I can match them two up together, that'd be fucking beautiful.
The fewer stories there are. And if you go back far enough, there are
We're getting there. Fucking, we're somehow getting there.
Roman and Greek authors in the 5th century BC have stories about the Brasilians, and they lived in an area called Arcadia. And they said they'd been here since before there was a moon in the heavens. Now, on the other side of the world, the ancient culture of Tiwanaku in Bolivia also refers to a time when there was no moon. The Tiwanaku claim the moon arrived between 11,500 and 13,000 years ago. If you're into ancient theories as much as I am, you'll recognize that this time coincides perfectly with a period called the Younger Dryas. And all kinds of myths and mysteries are said to have happened during the Younger
Confuse
Dryas.
myself again, mate. What am I doing? Bang, bang, fucking upper 2, innit? Upper 2 needs to get gone. That's what needs to happen. Upper 2 needs to be changed out. So, upper 2, nice to see you, it's nice. That's gotta go. 9:16.
That's what they believe.
Yeah, and it's only repeated one more time there, so we don't need that there, that's fine. So, upper 2 can fuck
And this
off.
legend is similar to what the Sumerians believed.
Delete that.
The Sumerians also had a legend of two brothers, Enki and Enlil,
2,
who were called Anunnaki, the extraterrestrial gods who created mankind.
So what is upper 2 on here again? It's just a jacket and it's what, only got one texture.
The Zulu also believed that before the moon arrived, the climate of the Earth was very different.
Okay, so,
There were no seasons, and a blanket of thick water vapor covered the entire planet.
so what I need to do is find something, excuse me, something I can use to fucking, I don't want to use the open work shirt again because I've got too many of them. It's just becoming a repeated thing, I don't like that.
So back to the Zulu. The Earth was covered by a thick layer of
I didn't want to repeat clothing, that's not what I wanted to do.
When the moon was finally
I
placed
wanted to have a bit of variation and everything, but
fell at once, and it created a
for them two things I think I'll have to, mate. There's nothing else I could use, that's not...
Every ancient culture has a flood
See the way I've made...
mounting evidence that this did indeed
Yeah, look, so for example, look, the way I've made that wouldn't even fit. It would, but well, no, it end up clipping. Number 1, it will clip through there, and number 2, look, it's just a big fucking hole there. I can't use that. Do you know what I mean?
And this is something that wasn't understood by
Unless I
science
somehow
for the
fucking...
past 100 years. Yet somehow the ancient
Do you know what I
Zulu
mean?
were
Like,
able
move
to make
that
connection
over
between
there.
the moon and the tides
And
and
that
the
just looks
seasons.
fucking weird.
All of these myths and legends, plus
Do you know
strange
what I mean? That don't
coincidences
look right,
and
does it?
anomalies about the
That's
moon
gonna clip.
start to add up to a
do
compelling
that.
theory that the moon is hollow, is artificial, and was placed here by intelligent beings long ago. But coincidences aren't proof, and myths aren't proof. We need to know what's been happening on the moon lately to see if we can make our case with hard evidence. Lucky for us, the evidence is there. Science tells us that the moon is a cold, lifeless place. It has no atmosphere. There hasn't been seismic activity for millions of years. Its core, unlike the Earth's, is cold. For a supposedly dead world, there's an awful lot of activity up there. On March 7th, 1971, a cloud of water vapor appeared on the moon that covered 100 square miles, and it was there for 14 hours before it dissipated. There's not supposed to be atmosphere on the moon, but for those 14 hours, there was.
It's just not gonna look right, mate. I can't use the code. That's what I'm saying. Fuck that. Fuck the code.
Documented a glowing mist in the crater named Plato. The same mist, the same crater.
So the way I've done that, the work shirt fits perfectly, but if I change it now, it's gonna fuck up the work shirt. So this is.
And that's weird enough, but how do boulders roll for miles and then go uphill, like in this photo? And since the days of Aristotle, astronomers have seen strange lights appear on the surface of the moon, sometimes visible with the naked eye. NASA even reported that between the years 1540 and 1967, there were 570 sightings of light flashes on the moon that couldn't be explained. Sightings of strange lights continue to this day. The Aristarchus crater was photographed in 1992, and it shows a glowing blue light, now called the Blue Gem. And this anomaly has been seen by Earth-based telescopes every few years since. Some have even speculated it's a fusion reactor. And these events of mysterious light and mist happen so frequently that there's even a name for them: transient lunar phenomena, or TLPs. But things get even more weird. There are plenty of photographs of what appear to be artificial objects on the surface of the moon. Towers that reach several miles high, pyramids, symmetrical structures. These have been photographed by numerous probes, even the astronauts themselves. And the biggest anomaly of all? Why haven't we gone back to the moon? Sergeant Carl Wolf was working as a technician for the Air Force, and he was repairing equipment that transferred images from a lunar satellite. Those photos, according to Sergeant Wolf, showed artificial structures on the moon, what he described as a base. And this is corroborated by another technician working with Wolf. And Wolf wasn't a UFO ET moon theory guy. He was just a tech. He said he was excited to see the pictures on the news and have NASA explain what they were. He was surprised when the photos never turned up. The photos were found in a very early release from NASA. These structures are very large and very tall. You can even see they cast shadows. And these are photos I'd like to learn more about. But I can't. They no longer exist. Now, almost immediately after landing on the moon, the Apollo 11 crew said they saw something that shook them up. Watch the press conference they gave when they returned. These men aren't acting like they made history or had a life-changing experience.
It's a beginning of...
There's nothing I can fucking do for that. I'm gonna have to, I'm just gonna have to use the same thing again. There's nothing else that I can do because that t-shirt would only fit that fucking work shirt because it's the way I've made it.
Uncomfortable, even depressed. Why? Is there a reason we haven't returned to the moon?
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I tried to get that to fit anything else and it's gonna clip with fucking...
Cultures knew centuries ago. Something that reputable
It's just gonna end
scientists
up clipping with shit.
answer to this list of mysteries. That the moon is not what it seems or what we've been told.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that just fits that nice, but
appeared in Earth's orbit from
if
somewhere
I use
else.
anything else, it's just gonna fuck up.
Does it make sense to you?
Do not pay somebody to build you a Shopify store, because I'm going to do it free with 20 handpicked products by myself and my expert team, and professionally written ad copy for all of those products at no charge. And if you don't believe me, I dare you to click on this ad, go to the next page, and see if I ask you for a single penny. And I'm doing this because I am a Shopify partner and an endorsed commerce coach by...
So what can science explain about the hollow moon spaceship theory? Well, the formation of the moon is still unknown, so score theory 1, science 0. The density problem is said to be because after the giant impact, the Earth's upper mantle formed the moon. The mantle is much less dense than the core. Okay, the problem with this is the giant impact theory probably isn't what happened. And the theory about the Earth and the moon forming out of that big donut shape?
In geometry, that's called a torus.
Torus? Well, that wouldn't explain the density discrepancy. We're told the moon ringing like a bell is because the moon is much less dense, and the moon's rock has much less water, so vibrations reverberate longer and farther. This can't be proven, but okay. The perfect eclipses? Well, here's where science wins. The eclipses aren't exact. They're close, but not perfect. Besides, the moon is drifting farther away from the Earth every year, so eclipses are becoming less and less perfect all the time. And whether the moon arrived 14,000 years ago, or was formed billions of years ago, it was much closer to the Earth, so it was much larger in the sky. Now, NASA claims that we know the moon isn't hollow because of seismic observations. And that's fair, but it's still conjecture. Look, we don't know for sure what's at the center of the Earth, much less what's at the center of the moon.
If there's anything at all.
Right. Now, the structures are said to be shadows or optical illusions.
Nope.
And the lights are from meteor impacts or reflections from glassy patches on the surface.
Nope.
But the bottom line is this. Yes, the hollow moon spaceship theory is a wild one, I admit that. And many of the anomalies found on the moon can be explained. The explanations aren't perfect, but they're enough to satisfy skeptics. And I consider myself a skeptic, but I'm open-minded. I just want to know the truth. When I started researching this story, I thought it would be a fun ride, a pure tinfoil hat experience that we could button up with science. That's not what happened. There's just so much unknown and unexplainable that something doesn't feel right about what we've been told about the moon. But as always, the space agencies and the governments they serve are very selective about the images and information they release. So I have a message for them. For NASA, the European Space Agency, Russia, China, Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, and anyone with the resources to put people back on the moon. The message is this. If you want us to believe your explanations, you're gonna have to prove it. Yeah, that episode got me wondering who's really on the moon.
Oh, you said
were planned, just 18, 19, and 20 were canceled due to budget cuts or whatever. But there is the theory that Apollo 20 did go forward, and it was a mission to the moon to explore an alien spacecraft.
Well, how can they explore an alien ship on a soundstage in Area 51?
No, they actually...
Oh, they probably just drove it in with a flatbed.
Well, whatever happened, this episode has a lot of good images in it. Not those black and white blurry images. There's actual color video of what they found up there. This is a wild one. The Apollo spaceflight program lasted from 1961 to 1972. Apollo 11 was Neil Armstrong's famous first step. Apollo 17 was the last manned mission to the moon. In all, 20 Apollo flights were planned, but Apollo 18, 19, and 20 were canceled. But in 2007, a retired astronaut blew the whistle and claimed Apollo 18, 19, and 20 did happen, but they were highly classified. He knows this because he was the commander of Apollo 20. He said the reason these missions were kept secret is because of what they found on the moon. Well, not just what they found, also who they found. The primary goal of the Apollo spaceflight program was to land the first man on the moon. This was achieved on July 20th, 1969, when Neil Armstrong famously said,
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That was Apollo 11. Apollo 12 also landed on the moon successfully. Apollo 13 had to abort after Tom Hanks famously said,
Houston, we have a problem.
But Apollo 14, 15, 16, and Apollo 17 all made it to the moon. But here's where things get weird. The Apollo missions made all kinds of scientific discoveries that experts still study today. But despite the success of these missions, Apollo 18, 19, and 20 were canceled due to budget cuts and lack of public interest. But ever since then, there's been a story floating around that those flights actually happened. But they did so as part of a top-secret black budget program. Eventually, we would get confirmation of this. In 2007, a YouTube user with the handle Retired AFB This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Factor. In 1925, John Burns was a school teacher at the Chileas Indian Reservation deep in the coast mountains of British
What
Columbia.
the fuck is going on
His
with that?
students told him stories about a strange giant lurking in the forest. It was a tale told by the local tribe for generations. Burns became curious. Were these stories true? The Indians insisted it was just a myth. But one night, an elder admitted they weren't exactly truthful with him, fearing the white man would mock their beliefs. But over time, Burns earned their trust. The elders told him the story of the giant was no myth. Many of the Indians had seen this creature with their own eyes, and not from a distance. It had chased them. Burns was shown the house this mountain giant destroyed with its bare hands as the family ran in for safety. They had a name for the giant. It was hard to pronounce. In the native Salish language, it was spelled S-E-S-Q-E-T, and it meant wild man. Mainstream media anglicized the pronunciation and called it Sasquatch, and a legend was born.
Okay, and with that, this is Headlines, and I'm your host, Tacklefish, and I can go all night. Our next caller is a woman concerned that her husband might be having an affair. Okay, caller, when do you think your husband's affair began?
Well, about a month ago, he started getting home late, right after dinner.
Yeah, it seems intentional.
Yeah, and then I started seeing stains on his shirt.
What kind of stains we talking? Lipstick?
Condiments.
Condiments?
Yeah, it's something he used to enhance the flavor of food.
I know what condiments are. They're on his shirt.
2020, a husband and wife were on a long-distance hike in the wilderness of Trinity County in California. It was a clear day, just after 10 a.m., when they approached a creek. Then they heard an unfamiliar, high-pitched animal call. It could have been a bird. presence and looked up. Their eyes met. Its eyes were human-like. What?
Humans have very creepy eyes.
No, we don't.
Well, you get the colored ball that just floats around in the white goo. Ugh, I don't know how you can stand it. Those things are gross.
You look in a mirror lately?
Well, everybody tells me I got gorgeous peepers. I take after my mother.
Now that you brought the exciting part of the story to a screeching halt, do you mind if I get back to it?
Go ahead, gross eye.
Alright, I lost my place.
You were talking about how the lady was freaked out at the gross balls and the white goo in that thing's head.
Its eyes.
What'd I say?
The creature jumped. Then it ran up a steep hill, first on all fours, then when it reached the opposite bank, it stood on two legs and ran with long strides up the mountain. They knew it wasn't any of the common animals seen in the area.
No, that was a Bigfoot.
It was. They were sure of it. By 2020, this animal, disavowed by mainstream science, was wildly famous, and people saw them all the time. Over the years, investigators have logged and followed up on over 3,000 Bigfoot encounters, including over 100 tracks encased in plaster and archived. In fact, it all started with a footprint. In August of 1958, Jerry Crew worked construction near Buff Creek, deep in the woods of Northern California. About a quarter mile beyond camp, he saw animal tracks at the end of the road. When he climbed in his tractor and saw the tracks from above, he realized they weren't from an ordinary animal. These were human-like feet, and they were huge, 16 inches long, which meant an animal at least 8 feet tall. Crew told his boss. And eventually, over 20 men from the job site reported seeing huge footprints by the Mad River nearby. Crew realized the prints he found needed to be saved for investigation, so he encased them in plaster, and they informed the local newspaper what they found, and they printed the story. Suddenly, this local incident became a national sensation. Reporters from all the wire services arrived, representatives from the New York Times, LA Times, San Francisco papers, everywhere. Bigfoot had become a celebrity. Now, of course, plaster feet didn't convince everyone it was real. People wanted hard evidence. They wanted a photograph. A few years later, they got much more than that. Roger Patterson was among the many Americans obsessed with Bigfoot in the 1960s. But he took his passion further than most. He lived in Yakima, Washington, right where these creatures were most often seen. And he was determined to prove they existed. So he got a camera, he hunted for tracks, he interviewed witnesses. In 1966, he released a book with detailed accounts of footprints and actual Bigfoot sightings. He asked his friend Bob Gimlin to join him on a 2-week trip to investigate some tracks he heard about. And in October of '67, they got way more than they bargained for. A few days into their trip, they were exploring a remote region of Bluff Creek on horseback. Both Patterson and Gimlin were armed with rifles and cameras. A pile of fallen trees blocked their trip in the canyon, so they stopped to find a way around. And that's when they saw it. About 80 feet away, Bigfoot was crouched by a creek. It was massive. It sensed they were watching it, then it stood up and just stared at them.
Oh, with the creepy human eyes?
Yes. Then Patterson's horse started bucking. He managed to pull his camera out of the saddlebag before his horse ran off in fear. Then Gimlin's horse got agitated. He hopped off and his horse bolted too. Things were getting chaotic. The Bigfoot had seen enough and started heading for the dense forest. Patterson was running out of time. He ran toward it with the camera filming, trying to keep the creature in the shot. Then his foot caught a branch and he tripped and fell. The Bigfoot turned to stare at him. It looked 7 feet tall and it looked female.
Can't
It seemed to
teach
have breasts
that.
named her Patty.
This right here is Big Cass.
Has become iconic. It's the image
He's
we all think
7
about when we
foot
think of
tall
Bigfoot.
and you can't
They
teach
followed
that.
the tracks for 600 yards into the canyon
Bada boom.
and saw
Look at this
prints
guy
go
in the
uphill.
wall. How you doing?
They did not pursue. If a female was its legs are shorter, consistent with an ape. It had a peak on the back of its head, like the sagittal crest of a gorilla. And there's more. When it walks, it flexes its midfoot like an ape. The fur on its back below its head is darker and standing up, just like it would on a gorilla who's agitated or afraid. If this was a prank, those are a lot of details to get right. So why don't we just say it's an ape? Because apes don't walk upright, not like humans. And Bigfoot clearly does. Not to mention, there haven't been apes or primates in the wild of North America for 26 million years. But here it was, upright walking Bigfoot in the wild. To this day, Patterson's film is the most important piece of evidence of the creature's existence. So what is this half-human, half-animal creature? Some speculate it's from a different dimension or some kind of shapeshifter. Some correlate Bigfoot sightings to UFO landings. But we don't need to speculate. We know a lot about Bigfoot's behavior because people are still seeing them. Every witness account of Bigfoot, and again, there have been over 3,000 logged by investigators, describes a creature between 6 and 8 feet tall. All the sightings report similar behavior. They're curious, but often watch us from afar, like the Sasquatch seen in 2013 by a hunter in the Sispus River area of the Cascade Mountains. The witness used his game call, which let out a squeal like a rabbit, and 60 feet away behind a tree, he saw a Sasquatch take notice, and it watched for nearly a minute before walking away. Bigfoot has very long strides and can cover distances impossible for humans, as witnessed by a father and son fishing in Sacramento County, Washington in 2002. They saw a Sasquatch from 100 yards away. It was startled by their truck's engine, and they watched it move in 6-foot strides straight up a hill and disappear up a mountain. People consistently describe its eyes as very close to humans. Like the former U.S. Army infantry sergeant camping in the Mount Adams wilderness in July 1991. He was walking up to a river and froze when he saw it across the bank 20 feet away. He described it in all the familiar ways, between 6 and 8 feet tall, with broad shoulders and long arms. And like many who've been that close, he added that the Sasquatch had human-like eyes. Ew. And there's the scream. A hunter heard it on November 16, 2014, in the woods of Woodloch, Washington. He described it as yelling next to the ground.
I want that in my fucking room, man.
Away from the sound and said the scream was something I never wanted to hear again. Campers in Humboldt County in 2007 reported prolonged screams from Bigfoot every morning for 2 days. It sounded like a wild animal,
10 o'clock,
but with eerie enunciation, almost like a language. Now, skeptics say after the 1967 film became famous, all the other accounts are just copies. Before the Patterson film, nobody talked about Bigfoot. So researchers scoured old newspapers looking for reports that might match modern Bigfoot, and they found way more than they expected.
Nothing to chop, let me start running off last time.
Bigfoot went back decades, maybe centuries. The first published report was from 1846. A 22-inch long footprint was found in eastern Arkansas, and there have been actual sightings every year since. Clearly, Bigfoot has been running into humans for a long, long time. But despite all these examples, mainstream science refuses to acknowledge Bigfoot exists. The species is called Gigantopithecus americanus, but officially that's a species that doesn't exist. So in 1985, zoologist J.E. Wall coined a term. He coined it for any animal that remains unexplained by science. He called them cryptids. This branch of study is called cryptozoology, taken from the Greek word crypto, meaning hidden.
I see, look.
Why the need to create a name?
His accessories fucking do this shit anyway.
Well, because Bigfoot is
It has to be the weight paint of the head that he's made, innit? Has to be. Because, look, it does that as well. I've not made that up. Legendario made that up. He reported it or he did fucking whatever. You know what I mean? It must be good.
Ah, man, that hurt.
They watched it for a full 4 minutes as it swam away. Another witness said it looked like a huge caterpillar. It moved with an up and down motion. At first people thought it was
That's what's wrong with number 12.
wheels move side to side, not up and down.
Big fat fucking space in the fucking bastard. I see that. That's also two. Magic. Alright, you go. Nice! Oh, we're getting in, mate. We're fucking getting in, mate. So that's most of the outfits. So, all the outfits, as far as I'm concerned right now, shouldn't fucking cause any like, shouldn't look all crazy or not. It shouldn't be looking all mad. Because that's using an outer top and a fucking torso like a clip, you know what I mean, that's the problem. Oh, see, look, they fixed themselves again. You see what I'm saying? They just randomly reset. So when you keep putting the YMT in, they just randomly reset the positioning of the hats. Even though I repositioned all of them to be like that. But you know, alright.
Sorry, I was next on chores, so this story takes me back. Really? Oh yeah, that was sad time. You know all the fish in the underwater scenes? Underwater scenes is where you typically see fish.
Let me know if you need
With
help.
all those fish, how are we supposed to know which one is you?
Because only 2 fish in that movie had teeth. Me and the big guy.
You know the shark was big.
Not meant to.
He was a real Hollywood phony.
No, can I get back to this?
No, excuse me. I thought the people would like a little flavor.
Ah.
For a water story, this one's a
Right, oh
pretty
yeah.
try.
Yeah, I can see that now.
During the 1930s and for decades after, this creature would appear on the surface, and people would line up around the lake armed with telescopes and binoculars, all hoping to get a glimpse of the sea monster they called Nessie.
Yeah, Jay
The
was
official
more.
Loch Ness sightings registered grew to over 1,100 sightings. The most
Jay Bib Long gets fucking used, you know.
long neck rising up from the water. This is called the surgeon's photo after the doctor who took it in 1934.
Take as long as you like.
But the thousands of eyewitness accounts and photos were not enough for mainstream scientists to take this giant rogue animal seriously. All except for one.
is what I'm saying. I'm thinking for that I might turn. So what have we got then? J-Bib needs, that needs to be fucking somewhere down there, needs to be changed. Right, so 8, 9 and 10. 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 8, 9 and 10. I need to work out what they're for. Yeah, 1 and 2 seems to be fucking... 1 and 2 are both fucking less ones. So if I was to take this, it's an empty texture. So we take that. I'm gonna say 1 and 2, 1 and 2, so 1 and 2, and then 8 to 10. Ah, that's used for the jackets, that's what that's for, isn't it? I think. So that's the only thing I can think of doing is setting fucking 1, 2, 8, 9. Set them all to fucking an empty texture. That's all I can do, and then that should fix what. So they're all vests, and obviously you can't use the vest. How come it's using the closed shirt though? So what? Hold on. Go back. So what torso is that meant to be using? Torso 24. What's torso 24 meant to do? What desktop I was going to, didn't it? Alright, what was I saying? Torso 24, mate, that's what I said. Right, yeah, torso 24 is meant to be that. What have I got for torso 24? Well, I've got fucking a work shirt, that's what I've got for torso 24, fuck me. So hold on, that means I could change the torso 24, okay. Oh, hold on a minute, yeah, hold on, carry on. Okay, trying to bring minds into it. Right, I know what I'm doing now. So 24 I could make into a coat and get something to fit that. So J-Bib, what fucking 2 is it? So now, fuck this shit off, yeah? What is going on here, mate? I've got so much bollocks going on. That's J-Bib 5, right? Fuck that off. Righty, so what we gonna bloody do this, my things? Fucking fuck this off, huh? I'll say it by anyways. Fucking
But this time the head had more definition.
Oh, fucking.
It looked like a crocodile. One more picture caught the creature passing by, and this was the stunner. A detailed head with a pair of small horns and what looked like eyes. It was dark and blurry, but it looked like an animal's head. On a
Say this,
they launched the first expanse of Loch Ness undertaken. It was called Operation For Japanese science,
I can see the wearing that.
Oh, could you, bitch?
It's pronounced flotilla.
They had enough boats to cover the entire width of the lake. Each boat had advanced sonar arrays
No, I need that.
capable of finding objects
Maybe need a nut.
away as
hands, I need the hands. I didn't really have to do much sizing on this, did I? I literally just pretty much fucking fit. What did I do? I just moved it up. You know, that's literally all I did. I didn't even scale it or fuck all, I just moved it straight up. I'll tell you, I scaled the hood. That's all I had to scale back was the hood. To be fair, probably could do it going a bit wider, but make it wider than fucking this. That bit looks a bit too high for me. I don't know whose hood's pointing up like that. Nobody else. I'm not sure about that.
So, what was this creature? Based on the descriptions, it matched nothing else on Earth, at least nothing that lives here now. But there was a time when animals like this were thriving. They were everywhere. They were in Loch Ness. The time was called the Jurassic.
Fucking Britney, bitch.
We figured all the animals on Earth were, well, all the animals on Earth. We didn't realize there were entire worlds of dinosaurs walking the planet.
I don't know, I forget about that.
Bones. One of the first fossils discovered was the Plesiosaurus, named 1821. This creature was a marine reptile with a long, flat body.
That material is imported.
This description matches the thousands of sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. Only the Plesiosaurus lived 200 million years ago. Could any have survived the Ice Age and made their way to the ocean up the River Ness, which connects to the lake? Now, mainstream science remains skeptical, but is this an actual Plesiosaurus? We don't know. No bones have been found in Loch Ness, at least not yet.
I was saying if I fucking...
Yet sightings of Nessie continue to this day. There were 10 official sightings of the Loch Ness Monster in 2023.
I could take a t-shirt and do the same thing, right?
2023, a woman was driving by the lake when she saw a dark shape emerge from the surface. She saw
That's what else I need to do as well.
She watched it move for about 30 seconds before it emerged, and like so many who witnessed the creature these days, she took a picture.
Need to go through each thing and try to see if I can find any more textures for each fucking, like all the jumpers and like the jumper textures should all fit each other realistically. And the bomber jackets, they should all... beast ones, isn't there? I swear there was a green LS fucking bomber jacket. Play up. Alright, set up. J-Bib 5. I thought there's any free textures. Don't forget about that.
Guards were hired to protect livestock and escort children to school. These weren't stories.
pictures, isn't it? It's not even what I was meant to be doing, I was meant to be fucking doesn't matter. Do this now, fucking don't. What was that, upper 2, but could also be fucking all uppers now, aren't they? Upper 22, right? I'm smoking cheap, I mean, it's not even a fucking open jacket, is it? It's a fucking closed one, mate. Fucking Jesus Christ, mate. Yes, okay. I can't use that, man. It's no good, man. Why is it changed? I might replace. What was it, upper 22? I think I should replace that. Telling me there's not another one of them open. That should fit that though. Did I not already do this? I could have swore I'd already done that. I don't know, it won't fit that, but it will fit fucking, where is it I have?
When she unlocked the gate and entered the pen, the 12 sheep were dead. Whatever killed them was gone. In Chile, a farmer heard dogs howling on his ranch.
It might fit 7.
The next day, he found 35 sheep dead. Again, drained of blood with bite marks on their necks. Footprints were discovered at the scene, but the government said the tracks were
Number 9, that's what it is, isn't it?
But Chilean UFO researchers had a different explanation. They were keeping watch on the Chilean military because the military was spending a suspicious amount of time in the Atacama Desert in northern Chile. There were rumors of a secret facility out there, and the military was out there searching for something. During one search, they uncovered 3 eggs with odd coloring. They did not look like bird eggs. According to UFO researchers, the military was forced to turn the eggs over to NASA because these eggs were from chupacabra.
NASA again?
Well, NASA was well aware of the chupacabra.
Wait, what?
Because they created it.
Now it all makes sense.
The secret facility in Atacama was a top secret lab where NASA was trying to genetically modify animals that could survive on Mars. Was the chupacabra experiment gone wrong? Well, we've heard the stories about Plum Island and the Bonbon Monster. It seems like whenever the government tinkers with nature, it doesn't go well for the rest of us. Scientists have identified over 700 species of dinosaurs, and the number grows every year. Now, how do they know all these animals existed? Through fossil findings, bones, hard evidence. That's what we need to prove if any of these cryptids are real. So, what do we have? Let's start with Bigfoot.
Real.
Well, there's no hard evidence
That's
of
from
the
our
Bigfoot.
exclusive
When scientists tested hairs people claimed to have come from Bigfoot, it turned out to be from a deer or other familiar animals every time. There's nothing beyond witnesses' accounts and plastic feet and blurry images to prove that Bigfoot exists. If it's a fake, it's a great one. The film is still being debated. Patterson went to his deathbed saying it was real. Gimlin also said it was real, but admitted he might have been hoaxed by